Chapter 113. He was busy until late at night. He turned off the lights and went to bed. The next morning, when Wang Yao was thinking about how to complete the system task in his cottage, he suddenly received a call from Zhou Xiongda. He thought that something had happened to Zhou Xiongda's son, so he hurriedly picked up the call. He did not expect Zhou Xiongda to call him specifically to tell him that Kong had been sleeping very well for the past few days. He slept almost all the way until dawn. Zhou Xiongda especially wanted to express his gratitude to Wang Yao. Wang Yao could imagine Zhou Xiongda's happy face just by listening to his excited words. It's good that it's effective. Wang Yao's face on the other end of the phone was also smiling. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao decided to go and have a look, so he went down the mountain and went to Lianshan County to check Zhou Wukong's pulse. Zhou Wukong's pulse was getting better and better, which meant that the medicine he used was right and the treatment method was suitable. According to the current situation, he could treat his arm after a period of recovery. After the diagnosis, Wang Yao said to Zhou Xiong, "Good, he's recovering very well. After a period of time, we can start to treat his arm." "That's great." At noon, Wang Yao wanted to go home, but he unexpectedly received an invitation. It was an invitation from Manager Li of the Chinese Medicine Company. Since the last time he asked Wang Yao for a diagnosis, Manager Li realized that there might be a problem with his health in time and went to the hospital for treatment in time to avoid the pain of surgery. Manager Li had called him more than once to invite him to dinner, but he was rejected by Wang Yao. Today, Manager Li called again. He heard that Wang Yao was in Lianshan County and insisted on inviting him to dinner. Wang Yao could not refuse, so he had to go. This Manager Li's real name was Li Maoshuang. He had chosen an inconspicuous hotel, but after entering, it was like a completely different world. The decor was somewhat delicate and elegant in Jiangnan. "Today, I didn't invite anyone else, just the two of us. I have to thank you properly," Li Maoshuang said as soon as they met. "You're too polite. How do you feel?" "Much better," Li Maoshuang said. "Today, let's not drink. Let's drink tea." "All right, let's drink some tea," Wang Yao said with a smile. "When I went to the hospital this time, I didn't know if I didn't have a checkup. When I did, I was shocked. My body was full of problems. When I received the medical report, I thought that I had earned enough money to spend, but my body was in such a state. I didn't want to die when I still had money. From that day onwards, I decided to change myself. I wanted to quit smoking and drinking," Li Maoshuang said. "It's good to have such thoughts," Wang Yao said. Many people knew that there was a problem with their health, and that their living habits needed to be changed, but they just couldn't make up their minds. Those who could make up their minds would most likely have a change in their health and change for the better. The dishes were served in a short while. They were mainly light, and the two of them chatted while eating. "I didn't expect you to know how to treat patients. Are you a medical student?" "No, I learned it myself," Wang Yao replied with a smile. "Amazing, I admire you." Li Maoshuang gave him a thumbs up. The two of them used tea as a substitute for wine and chatted happily. Li Maoshuang was also a talkative person. In the end, Wang Yao diagnosed him again. Sure enough, he was much better than the last time. "Well, it's a lot better." "Really? I've been very careful these days. Not only have I not drunk or smoked, but my diet has also been very light. I eat an apple a day," Li Maoshuang said. "Hold on in the future, and this illness will be cured. It won't recur." "No problem." Both the host and the guest enjoyed the meal. After saying goodbye to Li Maoshuang, Wang Yao drove back home. When he arrived home, he unexpectedly saw a person. It was a relative from the village. He was talking to his father, Wang Fenghua. "Yao, you're back." "Uncle." "That's settled then. I'll come over and talk to you in detail another day." The man didn't sit for long before he got up and left. His voice was weak, his steps were light, his complexion was gray, and his body odor was heavy. This person was not well. Looking at the man's back, Wang Yao thought to himself, "Dad, what did he come here for? He wanted to discuss the matter of exchanging land with our family. His father's health is not good. He found a feng shui master to look for a piece of land, which happens to belong to our family," Wang Fenghua said. "Not good? What's the matter?" Wang Yao asked. "It seems to be heart and lung failure. The hospital has issued a notice of critical illness." Wang Yao didn't say anything. Life was indeed fragile sometimes. "I think Uncle Fengming's health doesn't seem to be very good," Wang Yao said. "Is that so?" "Maybe it's because I'm tired these days," Wang Fenghua said. "It doesn't look like it." Wang Yao shook his head. He didn't look tired on the outside. Instead, he looked like he was sick on the inside. And his complexion, I hope I'm overthinking it. After dinner, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill. It was very quiet on the hill. After going up the hill, he sat outside the house for a long time, looking up at the sky. "Maybe I can try to plant some trees tomorrow." The next day, the weather was good. The wind was gentle and the sun was bright. The spring breeze was warm. Wang Yao drove to the nursery that he had been to several times before. This time, he was going to buy some trees to plant on Nanshan Hill. He wanted to set up the framework of the spirit-gathering battle array. "You want trees, not saplings?" The person in the nursery had a deep impression of Wang Yao. "Yes." "What kind of trees?" "Eucalyptus, apple, peach, Phoebe. Wang Yao listed several types of trees in succession. "Wait." Before he could finish, he was stopped by the person. "Not to mention that some of these trees grow very slowly in the north. I can't even get Phoebe. At most, I can only get saplings. They are a precious plant species." "Then provide me with what you can." "Okay." The man named Chen Kuan took the list made by Wang Yao. "These trees, I want at least 1 year old. The older the better, especially the ones I've circled. If that's the case, the price won't be cheap. Furthermore, your heavy machinery won't be able to move up the mountain. If it's too big, planting it will be a problem," Chen Kuan said. "How about this?" "Okay." "What are you going to do with these trees on the hill?" Chen Kuan asked curiously. "Purify the air, green the barren hill, and beautify the environment," Wang Yao said with a smile. After hearing that, Chen Kuan looked at him with a look that said, "I'm not educated. Don't try to fool me." The air in the mountain village was so clear. Did it need to be purified? Green the barren hill and beautify the environment required so many types of trees. He had never heard of anyone using so many precious trees to beautify the environment. "I'll call you when I have news." "Okay, please hurry up." After leaving the nursery, Wang Yao returned to the hill. He took a hoe and began to dig a hole in the hill. Laying down the array was a meticulous and physical task. Only he knew the exact location, and it would be difficult for others to help him. He planned to do it in a few steps. First, he would build the skeleton of the array. He would mainly use trees and some larger rock. Then, he would slowly fill in the details. This project was not something that could be completed in a day. Just as Wang Yao was busy on the hill, he received a call from his family. They asked him to go down the hill. They said that they wanted to see him. After he went down the hill, he found a middle-aged man sitting at home. The man was talking to his father. Third uncle? This man was Wang Yao's third uncle. He usually lived in Lianshan County. Other than visiting the grave, he would not come to his house more than a few times a year. Why did he suddenly come today? "Your third uncle is looking for you today," Wang Fenghua said. "Looking for me? What's the matter?" Wang Yao sat down. After sitting down, his father slowly told Wang Yao about the matter. It turned out that about a month ago, his third uncle was found to have a stone in his gallbladder during the regular physical examination arranged by his work unit. It was not very big. However, the surgeon in the hospital in Lianshan County suggested that he have a minimally invasive surgery to remove the gallbladder to prevent future problems. He did not feel uncomfortable at that time. There was no obvious discomfort, so he did not take it seriously. However, these days, he felt some discomfort under his ribs. There was a faint pain, so he went to the hospital again. The stone was still there and did not become bigger. The doctor still suggested that he did not want to remove it. After all, it was an organ in the body. By chance, he told Wang Yao's father about the matter on the phone. Wang Yao's father asked him to come and see if Wang Yao could do anything about it. "How big is the stone?" Wang Yao asked. "There are 3 stones. The biggest is 11x03. Do you feel anything on a daily basis?" "I don't feel anything. I just felt a little uncomfortable in the last 3 to 5 days. When I did the ultrasound, the gallbladder and liver were in good condition," Wang Yao's third uncle said. Wang Yao was speechless. It was a little hasty to advise the patient to have surgery in such a way. There were no obvious symptoms. Moreover, the gallbladder structure and function were good. The stone inside was not big. Why was he in a hurry to remove it? After all, it was an important organ in the human body. After removal, there would be adverse effects. "Let me take your pulse first." Wang Yao put his fingers on his third uncle's wrist and focused on taking the pulse. "Third uncle, you drink too much and your liver is damaged. You don't like to drink water. Your body is too hot and humid. Your blood flow is not smooth." After taking the pulse, Wang Yao came to this conclusion. The most basic requirement for a healthy person was to have a smooth blood flow. If the blood flow was smooth, there would be a problem. "Can you cure it?" his father asked. After all, they were his brothers. Wang Fenghua was very concerned about his 2 younger brothers, who would not come to him unless something happened. "I'll try. Third uncle, you can leave after eating here." "Okay," Wang Yao's third uncle said. After the diagnosis, Wang Yao went up the hill. He remembered that he had planted a licorice root called stone flower. It was born in stone and grew in stone. Could transform stones in the body. However, this licorice root grew very slowly after it was planted. It had been dozens of days, but it just showed its head. There were a few green leaves on the thin stem. "In the current situation, it is not suitable to be used as medicine," Wang Yao said. Chapter 114. Both the leaves and flowers of the stone flower could be used as medicine, but the flowers were the best. However, the stone flowers planted by Wang Yao only had leaves and no flowers, and the leaves had just grown. It was not that they could not be used, but it would be a pity to use them now. It was like killing the goose that laid the golden eggs. Since the planted ones could not be used, he could only exchange them through the medicine shop. Fortunately, it provided this kind of medicinal material, and he still had a lot of reward points. Wang Yao was slightly surprised. He found that after the last upgrade, it seemed that the things that could be exchanged had increased, whether it was medicinal materials, prescriptions, or other things. It seems that this medicine shop will also increase some things with the upgrade of its level. He spent a certain amount of reward points to exchange for the stone flower. With a thought, it appeared in his hand. The flower was not bright, but it was a little elegant. It was a light purple-red color, exuding a faint fragrance. Multifunctional pot for herbs. Ancient spring water. Stone flower boiled water. It was a simple medicine. There was only this kind of medicinal material and nothing else. After the water boiled, the petals were sprinkled in. It did not take long for the petals to melt into the water. The water was also dyed a light purple, but it could not be seen if one did not look carefully. This medicine should be effective. Wang Yao trusted the things provided by the system very much. Holding the medicine, Wang Yao went down the mountain. At noon, Wang Yao's mother cooked a few dishes, and Wang Yao's father also opened a bottle of wine. The two brothers had not seen each other since the Chinese New Year. They were both wine lovers and were ready to drink. "Third uncle, with your illness, you should avoid drinking and smoking," Wang Yao advised. "It's okay. Just drink less," his third uncle said with a smile. "I think it's better not to drink. Dad, you should drink less," Wang Yao said seriously. He could understand good wine, but he should also cherish his health. If it were someone else, he might not even persuade him. "Well, then I won't drink." Hearing Wang Yao's words, Wang Fenghua put away the wine. However, the time taken to eat was much shorter. After dinner, Wang Yao took out the medicine that he had decocted in the morning. "Third uncle, this is the medicine I made for you. Drink it within 2 days. If it gets cold, heat it up. Also, your liver is not good. Drink less and smoke less," Wang Yao said. "Okay." Wang Yao's third uncle took the medicine with a smile. Then, he took a small sip. The taste was slightly sweet, with a special floral fragrance. Not only was it not disgusting, but it was sweet and delicious like a beverage. "Is this medicine?" Wang Yao's third uncle asked curiously. "Yes," Wang Yao said with a smile. In fact, not all Chinese medicine tasted bad. Wang Yao's third uncle stayed for a while and then left. "Dad, if there's nothing else, I'm going up the mountain." Wang Yao got up and was about to leave. "Wait a minute. I have something to ask you," Wang Fenghua said. "What is it?" "How is your third uncle's health?" Wang Fenghua was silent for a moment. "Well, it's not a big problem. He just needs to pay attention to his daily life." Wang Yao thought for a while and said, "He and your third aunt haven't had a child. Is it because of health reasons?" "This I can't say. I have to take a closer look, and I can't just look at one person," Wang Yao said. "Can you find time to ask them to come here? Can you take a look?" "Dad, about this matter, you'd better ask third uncle first. Maybe he doesn't want to have a child?" Wang Yao smiled. It was not that he didn't want to care about this matter, but it might cause a rift between the two families. "Okay, I'll ask him first." Wang Fenghua felt his son's words made sense. "I'll go up the mountain first." "Okay." Not long after he went up the mountain, Wang Yao received a call from the nursery saying that some of the trees had arrived. Wang Yao asked about the number and asked them to send it over the next day. In the afternoon, Wang Yao walked around Nanshan Hill a few times to carefully determine the location and number of tree pits he had dug to prepare for planting trees the next day. In Lianshan County, a couple was in a residential building in a residential area. "This is the medicine your nephew gave me? A bottle of water?" A slightly plump woman who looked to be in her 40s said with disdain. "Even if it's water, I didn't see your relatives give me some." A middle-aged man with nearly half of his hair said unhappily. This couple was Wang Yao's third uncle and third aunt. When his third uncle came back, he told his wife about this matter. He didn't expect to be ridiculed by his wife. Although he didn't think the medicine his nephew gave him would be effective, it was still a kind gesture from his younger generation. So, when he heard his wife's words, he was unhappy. "It's useless to drink it. Why give it to him? How do you know it's useless?" The next day, just as Wang Yao finished practicing, he received a call from Chen Kuan saying that he was already on his way. Not long after, he saw a car full of trees enter the mountain village and drive towards Nanshan Hill. At this time, many people in the village saw the car outside and were very confused. "Hey, what kind of trees are in the car?" "I don't know. I've never seen them before." "Well, there's a banyan tree. That looks like a maple tree. Hey, who is this? Who wants to plant these trees?" Some people were able to recognize some of the trees. After all, these kinds of trees were considered common and not particularly rare. "What can these trees do? Bear fruit? I don't think so. They are all kinds of green garden trees." Then who would buy these kinds of trees? Could it be Fenghua's family? Wang Yao, the one who jumped into the river last year. I heard that he made a fortune on Nanshan Hill. Isn't that so? He even bought a car. I heard from my son that the car was not cheap. It cost hundreds of thousands. The people in the village stood at the junction and began their daily life of gossip. Just as they were talking about this matter, the car full of trees staggered to the foot of the mountain. After the car stopped, several people got out and looked up at the hill in front of them. It was not steep or high, but it was definitely not something that could be driven up by the two trucks. Boss, you said that the person who planted the trees is on the mountain? Yes. Chun Kun got out of the car. Then how are we going to get these trees up? When loading the cars, they used forklifts, cranes, and other tools. The people were only there to assist. They did not do much. Carry them up. Chun Kun's face was calm, but he was secretly having a toothache. What a customer who only cares about digging a hole and not burying it. What? The three people who came with him were stunned. This was a car full of trees. There were dozens of trees. Although they were not very thick, their roots were still covered with soil. It would be very difficult for two people to carry a tree. I said carry them up. Chun Kun stared at them. Who asked me to be with such a customer? Why do you want to make a mountain like this green and purify the air? Isn't this torture? Just as they were frowning, Wang Yao came down from the mountain. Manager Chun, hello. Hello. Chun Kun smiled and said, these trees are part of your list. You can take a look at the quality first. No need to look. I believe you, Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, unload the cars. After listening to Wang Yao's words, Chun Kun was obviously very happy. He directly said to the people who came with him, well, it seems that today's matter can't be avoided. The people who came with him said secretly. They did not hesitate anymore. They directly got on the car and began to manually unload the cars. Wang Yao also helped. Be careful, these trees are quite heavy. This time, the trees sent by Chun Kun were obviously selected. They were completely in line with Wang Yao's requirements. The growth conditions were excellent and the age was enough. The thinnest trees were as thick as a person's wrist. He spent a lot of effort to get these trees. Otherwise, he would not have waited for these few days. No problem. It took two people to lift a tree, and it was quite strenuous. However, Wang Yao could lift it by himself, and he still had the strength to spare. At this time, his strength was not as simple as 2 times that of an ordinary person. Damn, this is too awesome. They were all stunned when they saw Wang Yao carrying a tree and walking as fast as he could on the difficult mountain road. Amazing! Awesome! Chun Kun was also stunned. What did this guy eat to grow up? Does eating wild vegetables and wild fruits on the mountain have such a miraculous effect? As he thought about it, he looked around, but he didn't find anything edible around him. It took the people a whole morning to carry a car of trees up the mountain. They were all panting and exhausted. However, Wang Yao was still breathing steadily and still had the strength to spare. There was not even much sweat on his face. I admire you, Chun Kun said with a smile. How much are these trees? There is no hurry. According to the requirements on the list, it is still early. Not to mention the other trees, even these trees are not all here. When the goods are all here, we will calculate together. Wang Yao had prepared some water for them. It was not tea like Westlake Longjing tea. It was just cold water mixed with ancient spring water. There was enough water for them to drink. Well, the water is delicious and sweet. It is mountain spring water, right? Chun Kun praised after drinking a big bowl of water. Yes. You really know how to enjoy life. What are these? Someone curiously pointed at the herbs in Wang Yao's field and asked. Herbs? Herbs? Used in traditional Chinese medicine? Yes. They are so good. The herbs were growing well. They were green and watered by the ancient spring water every day. How could they not be good? The people took a rest. They originally wanted to stay and help Wang Yao plant trees on the mountain, but they were politely declined. These people were already tired enough to carry the trees up the mountain. How could he trouble them again? For this reason, Wang Yao wanted to treat them to a meal to express his gratitude, but he was declined by Chen Kuan. Chapter 115. After helping to transport all the trees to the top of the mountain, Chen Kuan left with his staff. "Boss, this guy is not an ordinary person, right?" After getting into the car, a person asked Chen Kuan curiously. "Of course, he is not ordinary," Chen Kuan said, but he couldn't tell exactly what was different about him. He just felt that he was different. After Chen Kuan and his staff left, Wang Yao didn't rush to plant the trees. First, he sorted them out. Then, he carefully determined the location of the tree pits he had dug in advance. According to the different locations, he arranged the trees that had just arrived in advance. Just as he was busy on the mountain, his parents carried the trees. They couldn't sit still at home. They knew that someone had bought a truck of trees and the truck went up the mountain. They thought about it for a while. No one else in the village could do that except for their son. Fortunately, after getting to know each other in the past few months, their view of their son had changed. They knew that he was doing business and had learned skills. They also supported him from the bottom of their hearts. Therefore, no matter what gossip there was in the village, they pretended not to hear it. In fact, there was not much gossip in the village recently. "It's almost time. We can start now." After getting ready, Wang Yao began to plant the trees. While he was planting the trees, the dog, San Xian, followed him happily and wagged his tail. As soon as he planted a tree, his parents came to the top of the mountain with tools. "Dad, Mom, why are you here?" Wang Yao was puzzled. He didn't tell his parents about it in advance. "It's such a big movement. Almost everyone in the village knows about it," Zhang Xiuying said. "Why do you need so many trees? Can you exchange them for money?" "It's much better than exchanging them for money," Wang Yao said with a smile. In fact, he didn't care so much about money now. "How do you plant it?" Wang Fenghua asked simply. Wang Yao wanted to persuade his parents to go back, but it seemed like they wouldn't agree. He could only plant trees with them. It had to be said that the older generation was indeed experienced. Their skills and experience in planting trees were better than Wang Yao's. The family of 3 worked the whole afternoon to plant all the trees. After that, Wang Yao invited his parents to rest in the small house while he watered the newly planted trees outside. After they were done, the family went home together. Wang Yao helped his mother cook dinner. "Will there be more tomorrow?" Wang Fenghua asked during dinner. "Also, you guys don't have to go. I can do it alone." "Yes," his father simply responded. After dinner, she stayed at home for a while and chatted with her parents. Then, she went back to Nanshan Hill. At night, the weather was getting warmer. Wang Yao didn't walk very fast. After walking for a short distance, he stopped and looked up at the sky. After a short while, he walked out of the mountain village. A mountain lay in front of him. The mountain road was quite spacious. After bypassing the mountain, he continued to move forward. Another mountain appeared in front of him. Looking from afar, he could see a house halfway up the mountain. Originally, there were only a dozen scattered trees near the house. Now, there were dozens of trees surrounding the house, but it didn't seem to have any pattern. Wang Yao stopped and looked at the mountain from afar. After a while, he stopped. Yes, there is no mistake. The trees seemed to have no pattern, but in fact, they were arranged in a specific order. They were the main framework of the spirit-gathering battle array. Now, about a quarter of the framework had been built. When he arrived at the top of the hill, he took out the layout plan that he had drawn earlier and studied it carefully several times. After making sure that there were no mistakes, he put it away and read the natural classics before he went to rest. In the next 2 days, Chen Kuan carried 3 carts of trees up the mountain. Wang Yao and his family were also busy. At the foot of the mountain, there were more and more discussions in the village. What's wrong with Feng Hua's family? Do they have too much money and nowhere to spend it? Green the barren mountain? They are noble people. Humph, those trees can definitely make money. In the evening, a person stood on the top of the mountain and looked down at the hillside. The trees surrounded one side. It looked messy, but in fact there was a hidden mystery. The first step was done. Wang Yao let out a sigh of relief. These days he felt tired for the first time. Not physically but mentally. It was not as simple as planting trees. He had to arrange each tree reasonably so that they could form an effective cooperation with each other. This was his first attempt. Although he had thought about it for a long time, he also knew that there must be some imperfections. He just tried to avoid them as much as possible. He had planted a total of 72 trees. It sounded like a lot, but when they were scattered all over the mountain, it was hard to tell how many there were. Originally, Chen Kun wanted to send the rest of the trees together, but Wang Yao asked him to delay. The first thing he had to do now was to make sure that the 70 trees could survive. Needless to say, watering the trees alone would take him half a day. Now, he found that the ancient spring water was not enough. Whoosh! The wind blew and the leaves rustled. Wang Yao stood quietly on the mountain, feeling the subtle changes around him. After the trees were planted, they began to have an impact on the nearby mountain. In fact, sometimes, 100-year-old tree could have an impact on the local environment in some places. The wind was changing, and so was the air. When the trees grew, and the array was completely arranged, the changes would be bigger and more obvious. This morning, Wang Yao was busy on the mountain. He received a call from home, asking him to go down the mountain for lunch. Because he was busy taking care of the newly planted trees, Wang Yao had been on the mountain every day. He also had 3 meals a day on the mountain. He did not go home. His parents would come up to help during the day. When Wang Yao went down the mountain and returned home, he found that his third uncle had also come home. Yao is back? When he saw Wang Yao, he smiled and stood up. Third uncle. Wang Yao smiled and greeted him. In such a short period of time, he actually came twice. Wang Yao, who had a little understanding of the third uncle's character, knew that he must have come for something. After sitting down and listening for a while, Wang Yao probably knew why the third uncle came. It turned out that a few days ago, he brought back the medicine that Wang Yao had made with stone flour. After taking it, the effect was surprisingly good. On the first night, the discomfort in his abdomen was obviously alleviated. On the second day, he continued to take the medicine. He only felt warm under his ribs, as if he had put a hot compress on it. After drinking the medicine, the previous discomfort basically disappeared, which made him very happy. Yesterday, he went to the hospital for a checkup and found that the stone in his gallbladder was gone. This made the doctor who examined him last time very surprised. He asked him directly what he had eaten. This time, thank you very much, Yao. It's nothing. We're family. It's what I should do, Wang Yao replied. It turns out that he specially came to express his gratitude. It seems that I thought too much. Yao, what did you use to decoct the decoction? Tell me, said Wang Yao. Unexpectedly, the next sentence of the third uncle sitting in front of him made his heart jump again. Why do you ask this? Your third aunt's relative also has this problem. She heard that I took the medicine from you, so she asked me to ask. Wang Yao was speechless. He rubbed his forehead. He remembered that he had specifically asked the third uncle not to tell others. It had only been a few days and he had forgotten? After thinking for a moment, Wang Yao said directly, No more. No more? What do you mean? His third uncle was stunned. This medicine is all used up. Used up? What's the name? Can't you buy it? I don't know. When I got it, I couldn't see what it looked like, so I didn't ask much, Wang Yao said. Can you ask it again? His third uncle continued. I got it by chance. I heard it has a miraculous effect, so I kept it. Where can I ask? Wang Yao answered very straightforwardly. Forget it. When it rings again, remember to tell me. His third uncle was a little disappointed. Well, okay. During lunch, his third uncle actually took the initiative to ask Wang Yao's father for wine. You've just recovered. Don't drink anymore. Drink less in the future, Wang Fenghua said. It's okay. Haven't I recovered? Third uncle, if you don't pay attention, it will most likely happen again in the future. At that time, I can't help you, Wang Yao said. It's okay. I'll pay attention in the future. Drink less this time to celebrate. In the end, the two brothers drank a small cup each. Seeing this, Wang Yao shook his head helplessly. This was his family. If it were someone else, Wang Yao would be too lazy to persuade them. It was a typical case of forgetting the pain after the scar had healed. It wasn't until nearly 1:30 p.m. that Wang Yao's third uncle left on his motorcycle. Dad, Mom, I'm going up the mountain. Wait a minute. Zhang Xiuying stopped Wang Yao. What's the matter, Mom? Forget it. I won't ask. After stopping her son, Zhang Xiuying suddenly waved her hand to signal him to leave. She turned around and walked into the house. Mom, if you have something to say, just say it. Did you lie to your third uncle just now? Zhang Xiuying thought for a moment and said. Lie to him? What's the matter? Do you still have the medicine that can dissolve the stone? How did you know? Wang Yao was stunned. I couldn't tell. I just felt that something was wrong. Do you really have it? I still have it, but not much. It's no problem to give it to my relatives, but it won't be enough if I have to give it to my seventh aunt and eighth aunt. You know my third uncle and third aunt's character, so I directly said no, Wang Yao said. Okay, right. It will save us trouble in the future, Zhang Xiuying said. Chapter 116. Okay, I'll go up the hill. Please keep it a secret for me, Wang Yao reminded his mother, afraid that she would say more. Don't worry. After Wang Yao left home, he went up Nanshan Hill to take care of the newly planted trees. After planting the trees, San Xian was much happier. He didn't lie in the kennel and think about his dog life anymore. He started to have fun on Nanshan Hill, leaving his scent everywhere. San Xian, don't pee anywhere. Woof, woof, woof. While Wang Yao was busy on Nanshan Hill, someone was sulking at home. What? It's gone? What a coincidence. It's gone when my relative needs it. He doesn't want to give it to me, right? Wang Yao's third aunt was angry after hearing her husband's words. What do you mean he doesn't want to give it to me? If he doesn't want to give it to me, I'll get better. It's gone. Don't talk so much. Wang Yao's third uncle was angry when he heard this. After all, Wang Yao was his nephew, and he was able to recover so quickly thanks to him. His wife's words were unreasonable. I think he just doesn't want to give it to me. I'll buy it with money, okay? He doesn't need your money, his wife said. What do you mean? Crack. The cup fell to the ground. A small matter that shouldn't have caused suspicion caused a family dispute. Wang Yao's third uncle slammed the door and left. He didn't want to stay at home. Go away. Don't come back. Sobbing shouts came from the room. In the evening, when Wang Yao went home for dinner, he found that his father didn't seem to be in a good mood, so he quietly asked his mother, Mom, what happened? My dad seems to have something on his mind. Don't worry about him. Your third aunt called this afternoon and asked your dad to go. She said that your third uncle hit her and wants to divorce your third uncle, Zhang Xiuying said angrily. He wanted to go, but I stopped him. What is it this time? Wang Yao was stunned. This was not the first time that his third uncle and third aunt had argued about a divorce, especially when his grandfather was still alive. Frankly speaking, it was because of that little bit of money. His grandfather was considered a retired teacher, and his salary was quite high. His third aunt and little aunt had their eyes fixed on the old man's little pension. Whenever there was a small matter, They would argue endlessly and call the old man. Of course, his mother also grumbled a lot, but she was suppressed by his father. Ever since Wang Yao's grandfather passed away, the two families had quieted down quite a bit. Is it because of the decoction? Maybe, Zhang Xiuying said. Wang Yao was stunned for a moment and then laughed. That's right, he laughed. He was so angry that he laughed. Quarreling over such a small matter, was this considered living a normal life? It couldn't even be considered playing house, right? Why don't we give the decoction to them? Zhang Xiuying asked tentatively. Mom, what are you thinking? Don't be like my grandfather, spoiling them. If they want to quarrel, let them. Also, tell my dad to stay out of it. Quarreling over such a small matter, is this something that adults should do? The more Wang Yao spoke, the angrier he became. These days, he had been reciting scriptures every day. It was rare for him to be so angry, and it was because of his relatives. They are my relatives. This is so interesting. This dinner was a bit depressing. During dinner, Wang Yao didn't say much. After dinner, he went straight up the hill. He sat in a folding stool outside the house, quietly looking at the sky. Next to him was the dog. It also looked at the sky. After a moment, it turned to look at its master next to it, then looked up at the sky again. Whoosh! A gust of mountain wind blew. Wang Yao reached out and grasped it. It seemed that he had caught something. San Xian, do you feel that the mountain wind has changed? Woof! The dog simply responded, indicating that it didn't know what its master was talking about. Nothing happened that night. The next day, before dawn, Wang Yao got up and started to work. He took care of the herbal field and watered the trees with diluted ancient spring water. After finishing all these, the sky was just beginning to brighten. He went up the hill again. When he was close to the top of the hill, he suddenly stopped and turned back to look at a few trees behind him. Was it an illusion just now? He turned back and walked down a few steps, then turned back and went up the hill again. He repeated this several times. No, it's real. It's just a few meters, but there are subtle changes. His spirit-gathering battle array had not been set up. It was just a general framework. In fact, it was still far from completion. There were many things to add, improve, and carve. Even so, he had already felt the changes caused by it. Inside and outside the framework, the temperature and airflow had begun to change with a few meters difference. Very good, Wang Yao said softly. It meant that the battle array he had been thinking about for a long time was effective. In this way, he could continue to set up the array. He carefully felt it, then went up the hill and came to the mountain rock. He faced the east where the light was bright. He sat cross-legged again, closed his eyes, and focused on guiding the flow of his nashi. The morning light was warm and full of vitality. At the foot of the hill, the sound of chickens and dogs gradually rose. Smoke also floated up. Although almost every family had liquefied gas, many people still liked to cook with the traditional iron pot. After breakfast, the villagers began to come out of their houses one after another. They either went to work or went up the hill to start a busy day. At this time, Wang Yao also finished his daily practice. He went down the hill and went into the cottage. Fenghua's boy, what did he plant? This was not the first time that people went up the hill to talk about Wang Yao and the trees he planted. Eucalyptus, maple, banyan. It's all a mess. Can these trees make money? Nonsense, it's better to plant some chestnut trees. I think he's crazy. Wang Yao did not hear the discussion at all. Even if he heard it, he just treated it as a gust of wind, brushing past his face. Near noon, Wang Yao received a phone call. It was He Qixing, asking where he was and looking for him. They agreed to meet on the hill. In less than an hour, He Qixing drove to the small village. He stopped at the south of the village and walked up the hill. He saw the hill from afar and the trees planted on the hill. It hasn't been long since I last came, and there are changes again. He Qixing went up the hill along the winding mountain road. He carefully observed the trees on the way up the hill. The more he looked, the more confused he felt. There's so many varieties. Woof, woof, woof. Before he got close to the herbal field, he heard the sound of dogs barking. They came so fast. Hearing the barking of dogs, Wang Yao came out of the cottage and saw He Qixing, who was staring at the trees on the hill not far away. When I called you, I was in Lianshan County, He Qixing said. I haven't seen you for a few days, and your hill has changed so much. You planted so many trees, and the varieties are so complicated. I had nothing to do, so I thought I would try planting some, Wang Yao said with a smile. After entering the cottage, Wang Yao made a cup of tea for him. This time, I'm here because of the thing I did for you last time. In terms of qualifications, I've already taken care of it. As for the exam, I've also registered for you. I'll let you know the specific time. Here are some materials I brought for you. Take some time to read them. He Qixing put a package full of books on the table as he spoke. Is that so? Thank you so much, Wang Yao said happily. In his opinion, it was very difficult to do, but it was easily done by Wang Yao. It's a piece of cake, He Qixing said with a smile. This matter was really a piece of cake for him. When are you going to leave the mountain? After you get the qualification certificate? During the conversation, He Qixing asked one more question. A few days before he came, he had a phone call with his friend. Through the phone, he learned that his son had greatly improved under Wang Yao's treatment. The sleep problem that had once been a headache for him was actually solved. Therefore, before meeting Wang Yao, he had just seen the child and personally diagnosed him. The result naturally shocked him. In just 20 days, the child's illness had a fundamental improvement. One had to know that this illness had stumped many famous doctors. This also directly proved that the young man in front of him had superb medical skills. However, his rules were too strange. Although he had amazing skills, he would rather live in the wilderness and live like a hermit. In ancient times, this could be said to be a noble and unsullied person who did not want to mix with the chaotic world. However, in today's society, in all likelihood, people would think that he was mentally abnormal. Anytime, Wang Yao said with a smile. He had a mission now. A quarter of the 100 days had passed, and he had only gained the recognition of more than 10 people. In fact, if he wanted to, many people would come to him for treatment. This mission could be completed easily, but he wanted to complete the mission while avoiding unnecessary trouble as much as possible. Some people's illnesses could be seen and cured, but some people, if he could avoid seeing them, he would avoid them. Really? He Qixing exclaimed in shock. Yes. Then, can you come with me to a place to see a patient? He Qixing continued to ask. Where are we going? Wang Yao was not in a hurry to agree. Beijing. No. Wang Yao did not hesitate at all and directly refused. Why? I don't want to go. I don't want to go, Wang Yao said bluntly. Beijing, the capital of the country, was a place where the rich and powerful gathered. It was a place where people of good and bad mixed together. If they were going to admire the scenic spots and historical sites, it would be fine. However, with He Qixing's identity and Miss Guo's identity, if they went to Beijing, there was an 80 to 90% chance that they would not meet ordinary people. At that time, it would be fine if nothing happened. However, if they got into some trouble, it would not be easy to get away. Then forget it. He Qixing heard and smiled. His expression returned to normal in an instant. He could understand Wang Yao's considerations. If it were him, he would also have concerns. After sitting in Wang Yao's room for a while, drinking a cup of tea and chatting for a while, he got up and left. Chapter 117. He Qixing left with disappointment. After he went down the hill, he turned back to look at the hill and sighed slightly. He knew that if this young man was willing, with his ability, he could become the guest of honor of many dignitaries. Unfortunately, his ambition did not lie here. However, this trip was not without gains. At least he could see that the strange rules of the young man on the hill were beginning to loosen. Not long after He Qixing left, another person went up the hill. "Hey, when did you plant so many trees?" Wang Mingbao was surprised to see the newly planted trees on the hill. "Recently. Come in and have a seat." After entering the house and sitting down, Wang Mingbao did not say any more pleasantries. He directly stated the purpose of his visit. "My father has been drinking a lot recently. He is not feeling well. Do you have any medicine that can help him?" "Didn't he take any other medicine?" Wang Yao asked while making tea. "He took some Western medicine. The effect is not bad, but his stomach still hurts a little. I am a little worried, so I came to see you. Do you have any good ideas?" Wang Mingbao asked. "Where is uncle now?" Wang Yao asked. "In town. I happen to be free now. Let's go and have a look first," Wang Yao said. "Okay." After he went down the hill, he went to the town government with Wang Mingbao. Wang Mingbao's father was in a meeting and had to wait for a while. The two of them waited in his office. "Uncle has been very busy recently, right?" "Yes, he has been busy. There are 2 roads planned to pass through town. He has been very busy recently." The two of them waited in the office for about 20 minutes. Wang Mingbao's father finished the meeting and returned to the office. After seeing Wang Yao, Wang Mingbao's father was surprised. He smiled and asked, "Yao, why are you here? Have a seat." As he spoke, he personally poured a glass of water for him. This intimate action surprised the office staff who followed him in. In his impression, he had never seen the mayor be so polite to a young man, not to mention that his authority had been rising recently. He couldn't help but look at Wang Yao a few more times. What kind of person is this young master? "Mayor, what about the afternoon meeting?" "You can come back later," Wang Mingbao's father said to the staff member who had been waiting in the office. "Okay, then I'll go out first." The office staff left quietly and closed the door. "Are your parents in good health?" Wang Mingbao's father's tone was very kind. "I'm fine," Wang Yao said with a smile. "Mingbao said that you haven't been feeling well recently, so I came over to take a look." "It's just a small matter. I'm fine. I'm much better now. Since you're here, why don't you take a look?" Wang Mingbao said. "Yes. Okay, let's take a look." Wang Yao checked his pulse. His pulse was soft. His stomach and liver were damaged. It should be caused by excessive drinking. His breathing was slightly rapid. His breath was slightly hot. His body was heaty. His complexion was slightly tired. It should be because he was busy with work and didn't have enough rest. Fortunately, there were no major problems. His voice was quite loud and he was full of confidence. Although his complexion was slightly tired, his eyes were bright and spirited. Overall, his body was very healthy. After the diagnosis, Wang Yao said, "There are no major problems. There are only 2 aspects that you have to pay attention to. Go ahead." Wang Mingbao's father smiled and said, "First, you have to drink moderately. Don't overdo it. Second, you have to pay attention to rest. Don't overwork yourself. Also, I'll prescribe you a medicine." "Okay, I'll try my best to pay attention to these 2 points. Thank you." He smiled and patted Wang Yao on the shoulder. Wang Yao just smiled. He also knew that in this position, there was no lack of social occasions. It was impossible to quit drinking. He had never heard of anyone in the officialdom who didn't drink. However, moderate control should be possible. Some banquets could be cancelled. People said that power was good. In fact, it was not necessarily. Power was like a tiger. Once you rode on it, you would lose control. "Uncle, I'll leave first. You can continue with your work." The matter had been settled. Moreover, Wang Mingbao's father was busy as the mayor of the town. He didn't stay any longer and left. Wang Mingbao's father walked him all the way downstairs. He didn't go up until he saw them get in the car. Damn, who are those two people? Why did the mayor walk them downstairs in person? Seeing this scene, the town government officials were very surprised and secretly discussed. I know the other one. He's the son of Mayor Wang. I don't know the other one. His identity must not be ordinary. Otherwise, he must be the son of a high-ranking official if he can walk him down in person. Yes, he must be rich or noble. Just as the town government officials were discussing the identity of Wang Yao, he had returned to the village with Wang Mingbao. I'll go back and make a prescription for you. I'll tell you when it's done. You can pick it up then. Okay, I'll go home first. Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill alone. Woof, woof, woof. When he was still at the foot of the hill, he heard rapid barking. He raised his head and looked towards the source of the sound. Under a tree, San Xian was having a tense confrontation with a cow. You beast, go away. On the side, an old cowherd was holding a stick to scare the dog. Woof. The dog's hair stood up and made a wolf-like low growl. With a screech, an eagle suddenly swooped down from the sky, its sharp claws clawing at the eyes above the bull's head. Oh my God! The old cowherd was scared out of his wits. Blood splashed. The eagle's sharp claws left several bloody grooves on the cow's head. The wounds were so deep that the cow's bones could be seen. One of the cow's eyes was almost gouged out. Moo! Yellow Ox was in pain, turned around and ran. With a crash, the old cowherd who was still holding the rope fell to the ground. Ouch! The old cowherd screamed. Obviously, the fall was not light. What? Wang Yao, who had just gone up the hill, happened to see this scene. He was stunned. The dog on the ground and the eagle in the sky did not want to let go of the cow. They continued to chase it. Go away! Wang Yao shouted. The dog stopped, turned around and came to Wang Yao's side, wagging its tail. The eagle in the sky suddenly stopped, circled a few times, and flew not far away and landed on a branch. Look what you've done! Wang Yao glared at the dog. He quickly went to the old cowherd who had fallen to the ground and was still crying. At first glance, he knew the old cowherd. The old cowherd was quite senior in the village. He had to call him Grandpa. Are you all right? Ouch, my waist. The old cowherd was lying on the ground. Let me take a look. Wang Yao bent down and carefully checked the old cowherd. He confirmed that the old cowherd had some scratches on the skin. Other than that, there was nothing serious. Grandpa, your bones are strong. You're fine, Wang Yao said. You think I'm fine just because you say so? Are you a doctor? The old cowherd sat up and scolded. How about I take you to the hospital to have a look? To the hospital, the county hospital, the old cowherd said. Okay. Wang Yao still had a smile on his face. He helped the old cowherd down the hill. The old cowherd called his son and daughter. Wang Yao drove them to the county hospital. Yao, I don't want to scold you, but how could you do such a thing? In the car, the old cowherd's son, who knew little about the whole thing, scolded Wang Yao with a cigarette in his mouth. The whole car was filled with the choking smell of smoke. Yeah, the old cowherd is so old. His younger sister also chimed in. Wang Yao didn't say anything. He just drove quietly. The car was fast. It didn't take long for them to arrive at the county hospital. After entering the hospital, Wang Yao registered the old cowherd. Then, he started to do all kinds of examinations, such as X-rays, CT scans, electrocardiograms, and everything that could be done was done. The final results showed that the old cowherd was fine. The most serious injury was the soft tissue contusion on his arm. Even so, the old cowherd's children still pestered the doctor. They were afraid that there would be any omissions or mistake. In the end, the doctor directly advised to let the old cowherd stay in the hospital for a period of observation. So, the two children were very filial and let the old cowherd stay in the hospital. Of course, The hospitalization fees were paid by Wang Yao. "Look, my dad is in the hospital. Why don't you come home with me to get something?" the middle-aged man said, but his tone didn't sound like he was negotiating. "Okay," Wang Yao calmly said. He went back to the village and got something from the old cowherd's house. Then, he returned to the hospital in Lianshan County. "I'll go back first. Call me if you need anything." Seeing that the old cowherd was in the hospital, Wang Yao turned around and left. "Hey, leave some money. What if the hospitalization fees are not enough?" The old cowherd's son came out and grabbed him. "It's enough." Wang Yao's tone was a little cold. He slightly waved his hand. The old cowherd's son felt a strong force and took 2 steps back. Then, Wang Yao turned around and left. "Hey, who is he?" the middle-aged man saw the situation and asked. After Wang Yao left, the old cowherd's son said unhappily, "I've already checked him. He's fine. Why is he in the hospital?" "Dad, let me tell you, some injuries can't be checked at all without hospitalization. We don't need to spend money. What are you afraid of? Didn't he make a lot of money by planting herbs? This time, we'll check him carefully. If it doesn't work, we'll go to hike. The hospital there is more advanced," the middle-aged man said. "We're all from the same village. Don't make things too awkward," the old cowherd's son said. "It's not our fault. We're right. What are we afraid of?" the old cowherd's son said rationally. "Tomorrow, we'll do an ultrasound and an MRI. Check the whole body again." After leaving the hospital, Wang Yao was very angry. This was the first time in a long time that he was so angry. From the time he saw the old cowherd's son and daughter until just now, the words and behavior of the two made him very angry. They were really a little too much. Their faces were really ugly. Not to mention that they were from the same village. Even if they were strangers, they shouldn't have said such unpleasant words. As for the old cowherd's injury, he didn't say that he wouldn't care. The behavior of the old cowherd reminded him of a popular word in recent years, scamming. Chapter 118. When he returned home, it was almost evening. Today, except for this annoying matter, he did not do anything else. After returning home, his mother asked with concern, "How is it? Is your grandpa Jianrong okay?" "Mom, how did you know?" Wang Yao was slightly surprised. He did not tell his family this morning. He only said that he had something to do. "I heard it from the villagers," Zhang Xiuying said. The village was like this. A small matter would spread quickly, let alone such a big matter. On the one hand, Wang Fenghua's family had a good reputation in the village. On the other hand, the family named Wang Jianrong, or more accurately, his son, had a bad reputation in the village. They were almost rascals. Therefore, when someone heard about this matter, they went to Wang Yao's home and told his mother. "It's okay. He had a checkup today and did not find any problems. He has been admitted to the hospital," Wang Yao said. "Since there is no problem, why is he still in the hospital?" Zhang Xiuying was surprised. "They are worried. They want to stay in the hospital for observation," Wang Yao said. "How long will he stay in the hospital?" "I don't know. If they want to stay, let them stay," Wang Yao said. "Can you take me and your dad to have a look tomorrow?" "There is no need to go," Wang Yao said. He was quite disgusted with that family now. If his parents went, it would make them feel that they were in the right. They would be arrogant and would definitely make his parents angry. Zhang Xiuying did not speak. She lowered her head and thought. "Mom, you don't have to worry about this. I will deal with it." "Don't worry about what they say," Wang Yao said. After dinner, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill again. San Xian ran to greet him from afar, wagging his tail happily. "You caused me a lot of trouble today. Do you know?" "Woof, woof, woof. Why did you bite the cow?" San Xian turned his head and seemed to be thinking about the meaning of Wang Yao's question. "That cow. Wang Yao pointed at the place where the accident happened during the day. Woof! San Xian seemed to understand Wang Yao's words. He turned around and ran in the direction of yesterday's incident. He motioned for his owner to follow him. Wang Yao followed him. He knew that the dog he had raised was now quite intelligent. It would not do such aggressive behavior for no reason. Something must have happened that he did not know about. San Xian stood under a tree in his heart, raised his head and barked. Wang Yao then discovered that the leaves of this tree, which was not too tall, had been gnawed on. It was probably during the day that the cow had inadvertently come here and gnawed on the leaves of the tree. As a result, it was discovered by San Xian, which led to the subsequent events. Well done. Wang Yao pondered for a moment, then gently stroked San Xian's head to show his appreciation. Wang Yao already knew the cause of the incident. He also had an idea in his heart. He then turned back to the hut, took out a folding stool, and held a cup of tea. He sat outside the hut and looked up at the sky. San Xian lay quietly beside him, also looking up at the sky. After sitting outside for a while, Wang Yao got up and prepared to enter the hut. Before entering the hut, he first greeted his two old friends. Good night, San Xian. Good night, De Xia. After a while, the soft chanting of scriptures came out of the hut. In the night, there seemed to be some kind of mysterious rhythm hidden in it. The next day, when the sky was still dark, Wang Yao got up and began a busy day. He first watered the licorice roots in the herbal field, then walked around the newly planted trees. After that, he went straight up the hill. However, this time, he was no longer alone. There was a dog beside him. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao was sitting cross-legged on the protruding rock. San Xian was lying quietly not far away. He turned his head to look at his master. In fact, this was not the dog's first time here. Wang Yao closed his eyes and concentrated. The qi in his body flowed like a stream. His body was as still as a pine tree, slightly undulating. From time to time, the mountain wind blew, making the leaves on the mountain rustle. Not long after the sun in the sky jumped in the sky, Wang Yao opened his eyes and ended a day of practice. Almost. He sighed softly. Then he went down the hill. Today, he was going to the county town again to see Zhou Xiong's son and buy 2 herbs to decoct the medicine for Wang Mingbao's father. In the county hospital in Lianshan County, the old man who was hospitalized yesterday was being examined with the help of his children. They had just finished an MRI, focusing on the head. There was no problem found. Now, they were waiting in line to do a color ultrasound. In this way, this set of examinations was completed. So far, the old man's body was normal, except that his blood pressure and blood lipids were a little high. After the examination, let's leave the hospital, the old man said. He could feel that although he was pulled down by the struggling ox, it was just a fall. It was not a big deal. They were all from the same village. He did not want to make things too tense. His children had gone too far. Besides, who would be hospitalized for no reason? This was not a lucky thing. The old man was old and superstitious. I know, Dad, let's leave the hospital after the examination, his son said. This matter can't just end like this. What else do you want? You hurt people. You have to give some compensation, the middle-aged man said. Compensation? What compensation? We've already done a full check and spent a few thousand yuan. What's there to compensate? The old man was a little unhappy. Dad, don't worry about this matter. Listen to me. The middle-aged man's tone was very tough. I'll call him. This person is still in the hospital. He hasn't come. What's the meaning of this? As he spoke, he picked up his phone and dialed a number. In the mountain village, Wang Yao was about to go down the hill. Suddenly, the phone in his pocket rang. He picked it up and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Hello, he said. Hello, Yao, I'm your uncle. Why don't you come to the hospital? The voice that annoyed him came from the phone. "What's the matter? I have enough money." Wang Yao's tone was very cold. "Yes, but—" Wang Yao hung up the phone before the person on the other end of the phone could finish. He did not want to say a word to such a person. Beep beep beep. That's strange. What does that mean? Don't you know how to be polite? The middle-aged man listened to the busy tone from the phone. He was a little angry and wanted to call again. Call again later. It's our dad's turn. The woman next to him heard the call. It happened to be their turn. The two of them accompanied the old man into the color ultrasound room. The doctor looked at the list. The examination was very detailed. It took more than 10 minutes. When they showed the doctor the color ultrasound to him, the doctor frowned slightly. "There's another examination tomorrow. Your father has a tumor in his abdomen." "What?" The middle-aged man and woman were stunned. "Is it serious?" "It's hard to say. He needs to be examined again. It's best to do a pathological section." "Don't rush to leave the hospital," the doctor said. After the brother and sister went out, they told the old man about the situation. They did not mention the illness because they were afraid that the old man would be worried. They only said that the doctor asked him to stay for 2 more days for observation. "Stay? I feel good." The old man was a little unhappy. "Just stay. You don't have to pay." The middle-aged man's tone became harsh again. Hearing his son's tone, the old man did not speak. He sat on the bed and sulked. The middle-aged man went out to ask the doctor again. The doctor said that there happened to be a relevant specialist in the city coming to see the patient the next day. At that time, he could invite the specialist to see the patient, but he would have to pay extra. "We'll pay. Please arrange it for us," the middle-aged man replied. Anyway, it was not his family's money. The doctor listened and said that he would arrange it. Wang Yao drove into Lianshan County and arrived at the rented house of Zhou Xiong and his son. When he saw Zhou Wukong again, the child's complexion had improved a lot. His face was ruddy and shiny. His voice was much clearer. His eyes were bright. The bags under his eyes had become lighter. He was a lot more cheerful and was willing to talk. The diagnosis was also very good. The child's body improved very quickly. After all, at this age, once the symptoms were suppressed or eliminated, the original vitality of the youth burst out. It would have a good effect. "Let me take a look at your arm." This was the first time that Wang Yao had seen his arm in a month of treatment. It was very thin, and dry like firewood. The skin was also wrinkled and dull. It was like a piece of dead wood. Starting from the left hand, one arm extended to the shoulder. Wang Yao gently and carefully checked. While he was checking, he gently pressed or pinched. At the same time, he asked Zhou Wukong how he felt. If the meridians in the human body were compared to the complex water system, which played the role of transporting various nutrients and other substances for the human body, then the river in the left arm of the child in front of Wang Yao had been silted up. The river channel was blocked by sand. The water flow could not smoothly pass through. Naturally, it could not play the role of transport. Most of the water flow could not be unblocked and directly blocked. A small part could still play a role, but it was also in a state of semi-silted up state. After checking Wang Yao, Zhou Xiong asked softly, "How is it, Dr. Wang?" "I'll try my best." Wang Yao was not completely sure about this disease. He could only say that he would try. After staying with Zhou Xiong for a while, Wang Yao left. He then went to the county hospital to see the old man. He came at the right time. There was no one else in the ward except for him. "Are you feeling better?" "Much better." After seeing Wang Yao, the old man was slightly embarrassed. Since the incident yesterday, the young man in the village had done a good job. He sent him to the hospital as soon as possible and did all the examinations. He did not spend a penny, which made him feel embarrassed. "That's good. What did the doctor say?" Wang Yao's attitude towards the old man was much better. The doctor said to let you stay for 2 more days. Okay, then stay for 2 more days. Wang Yao did not stay in the ward for long. After he came out, he went to the doctor's office and asked about the old man's condition. Chapter 119. What? There is a tumor in the abdomen? Wang Yao was stunned. It was just found out this morning. A specialist will come over tomorrow. We'll confirm it then. According to my experience, it's more likely to be benign. You don't have to worry too much. He thought Wang Yao was a relative of the old man, so he comforted him. Thank you. I got it. After that, Wang Yao turned around and left. He now understood why the old man had to stay in the hospital for a period of observation. Hey, Yao is here. Wang Yao happened to meet the middle-aged man who came back from outside when he took the elevator downstairs. Ah. Wang Yao responded coldly. Just in time. I have something to tell you. Your grandfather has to stay here for 2 more days, the middle-aged man said. Well, he has to stay for 2 more days. Wang Yao said angrily. Yes, I just checked. The hospitalization fee may not be enough. How about this? You can just give me the money directly. You don't have to make another trip, the middle-aged man said. Wang Yao was stunned when he heard that. How shameless! It was beyond his imagination. Ding! The elevator suddenly arrived. Wang Yao did not say anything. He stepped into the elevator. Hey, give me an answer, the middle-aged man said anxiously. He followed him into the elevator. Don't tell me you want to go back on your word? The man shouted in the elevator. They were not the only people in the elevator. Everyone's eyes fell on them. The atmosphere was actually very awkward. Most people would not be able to stand it. No matter what the matter or anger was, they would temporarily suppress it and find a quiet place to talk about it. However, this man was obviously different from ordinary people. He did not care about the eyes and opinions of the people around him. My father's illness was caused by you. Ha ha. Wang Yao laughed. He was so angry that he laughed. How shameless and shameless this man was. Can you get a tumor from being pulled by a cow? Wang Yao could not help but ask. You. That's not necessarily true. What if it is so coincidental? The middle-aged man obviously didn't expect Wang Yao to go back and ask the doctor about this matter, but his mind worked very quickly. Wang Yao didn't say much after hearing that. He didn't want to waste his breath on this kind of person. It would only add to his troubles. Ding! The elevator reached the first floor. Wang Yao stepped out of the elevator. Staying with this kind of person for even a second longer was torture. Hey, stop right there! The middle-aged man also walked out and grabbed Wang Yao's arm. You have to make this clear today. His expression changed. Let go, Wang Yao said coldly. Hey you, Wang Yao waved fiercely. The middle-aged man only felt a strong surge of force. His hand was unnaturally released. Then, his body didn't listen to him. He suddenly sat down on the ground. This was the hall on the first floor of the county hospital. It was the most crowded place with people coming and going. For a moment, many people in the hall looked at the two people. Wang Yao didn't even look at the man. He walked away quickly with a cold face. The middle-aged man got up and wanted to chase after Wang Yao. However, he didn't know what to think and stopped. He just looked at the back of Wang Yao with a fierce look. You wait for me. This is not over. After leaving the hospital, Wang Yao didn't drive home directly. First, he made a phone call. Then, he went to a place. It was the largest law firm in Lianshan County. He found a professional lawyer and told him about his situation. After seeing the shameless face of the man, he felt that the man might be even more shameless. It was better for him to be prepared early. For legal advice and help, Wang Yao was very generous. At first glance, the lawyer guessed that he might be a long-term client. He was very attentive to the treatment. In the reception room, he carefully understood the process of the incident and made some note. When the incident happened, was there anyone else at the scene? No. Wang Yao shook his head decisively. At that time there was only a cow, a dog, an eagle, and of course, a lot of trees. There shouldn't be any surveillance equipment on the hill, right? No. In this regard, Wang Yao was very sure. As long as he didn't install it, no one would be so free to install surveillance equipment on Nanshan Hill. Then this matter is easy to handle. From a legal point of view, the most important thing is evidence. The other party has no evidence to prove that this incident has anything to do with you, the lawyer said with a smile. In his eyes, the matter in front of him was simply a small problem. It couldn't even be considered a problem. After the lawyer's explanation, Wang Yao was slightly relieved. He also showed the intention of long-term cooperation. This is my phone number. If you need anything, you can call me at any time. I answer 24 hours a day, the lawyer in his 30s said. Okay, thank you. After returning from the law firm, Wang Yao drove home. When he arrived home, it was already past noon. He didn't expect to have a guest at home. Why are you back so late? Chuanrong has been waiting for you for a while, Zhang Xiuying said. You're back. The guest at his house was a young man about the same age as Wang Yao. He was nearly 1.8 meters tall and had a strong back and a bare waist. This person was the son of the old man who was diagnosed with thrombosis by Wang Yao last time. A few days ago, he had specially come to express his gratitude at Wang Yao's house. Yes, I just came back. Have a seat. You guys chat first, Zhang Xiuying said and went outside. Wang Yao got up and poured a glass of water for Wang Chuanrong. How's the matter yesterday? Wang Chuanrong asked. Wang Yao was stunned. He didn't expect the other party to come over for this matter. Wang Yida's reputation in the village is not very good. Wang Chuanrong laughed. His sister is not very good either. Wang Yida was the middle-aged man that Wang Yao was very annoyed with. He's still in the hospital now. Hospital? Is his injury serious? Wang Chuanrong's expression changed slightly. Wang Yao could feel that the other party was worried. It's not serious. The test results have come out. The most serious part is the soft tissue contusion on his arm. When I went to see him today, he had a tumor in his abdomen. Tumor? How can a fall cause a tumor? Wang Chuanrong was stunned. Is he going to ask you for money to treat the tumor? Well, I think he has that idea. He is so King shameless. Wang Chuanrong said angrily after hearing that. Wang Yao smiled and didn't say anything. Wang Chuanrong sat for a while and left a sentence. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. Okay, thank you. Wang Yao was very touched. In fact, they usually just greeted each other when they bumped into each other. They didn't have much of a friendship. However, Wang Yao didn't expect Wang Yao to remember his unintentional behavior. After Wang Chuanrong left, Wang Yao had something to eat at home. He then went back to Nanshan Hill. First, he went up the mountain to check. The 72 trees that he had planted a few days ago were growing very well. This should be due to the ancient spring water. The leaves were green and exuded exuberant vitality. They are growing very well. Keep it up. As he spoke, he patted the trunk of a tree. Next to him, the dog wagged its tail happily. After walking around, he went into the cottage and made a cup of tea. He held a scripture in his hand and read it in a low voice. Time slowly slipped away as he read the scripture. In the evening, he went down the hill and returned home. Before he reached home, he heard a noise coming from inside. Wang Fenghua, give me an explanation. The voice was so arrogant and noisy that it made people unable to help but have the impulse to beat him. Wang Yao pushed the door open. Who dared to speak to his father in such a tone? Soon, he saw a familiar face. No wonder it sounded familiar. It was not a stranger. It was Wang Yida, who made Wang Yao fully understand how shameless and shameless people could be in the hospital today. In front of him was Wang Yao's parents. Looking at the faces of both of them, it was obvious that they were very angry. Just in time. You're back. As soon as he saw Wang Yao, he became more energetic. Today's matter in the hospital is not over yet. Leave immediately. Wang Yao took out the phone from his pocket. What? Wang Ida was stunned. Leave immediately. Otherwise, I'll call the police and say that you broke into private property with bad intentions. Wang Yao held the phone with a cold face. Call me. Wang Ida listened and said, Okay. Wang Yao said and directly dialed the phone number of the town's police station. As soon as the phone was connected, Wang Ida was dumbfounded. You wait for me. I'm not done with you. Wang Fenghua, you raised a good son. Get out. Wang Yao could not bear it. The breath in his body suddenly boiled. His roar was like a bolt from the blue, shaking the nearby windows. Wang Ida was so scared that his whole body trembled. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and turned to leave angrily. He even closed the big iron door of Wang Yao's house with a bang. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I made you angry. Wang Yao turned to his parents and said. He did not expect that the other party would be so shameless and come directly to his house. Wang Fenghua did not speak. He lit a cigarette and sulked there. Zhang Xiuying's face was red. She was angry. Since she came to this village, she had not been so angry for a long time. I'll deal with this matter. You should rest early. Wang Yao finished speaking and went into the room. He did not even eat. This matter absolutely couldn't end like this. He was very angry. The consequences were very serious. After thinking for a while, he picked up the phone and made a call. On the other side of the village, in a house, Wang Ida was angry. Damn, neither of them is good. Today was a good day for a man. What a pity. Outside, the sky had just darkened not long ago. Suddenly, the sound of the alarm pierced the silence of the mountain village. No, this matter can't be over like this. After drinking 2 glasses of wine, Wang Ida, whose face was red and eyes red, took out a shining knife from nowhere and went out of the house with the help of the wine. As soon as he walked into the yard, he heard someone knocking on the door and calling his name. Chapter 120. Wang Ida, open the door right now. Who is calling me? Wang Ida staggered to the door. When the door opened, he was stunned. Police. The 2 policemen outside the door were also stunned. F***ck, this guy has a knife in his hand. What are you doing? Wang Ida didn't know if he had drunk too much and his brain was cramping, or if he had suddenly lost control of his speech and motor centers. The key was that when he said this, he made a movement. He waved the knife in his right hand. Hey, what is that in my hand? What is this guy doing? Wang Ida, what are you doing? Put the knife down. There was a strong man behind the 2 policemen. He saw the situation and shouted. Wang Ida was stunned. The 2 policemen saw him and pushed him to the ground. With a clang, the sharp knife fell to the ground and fell far away. The 2 policemen pressed Wang Ida, who reeked of alcohol, to the ground. Then, they took out handcuffs and took him to the police car outside. Why are you arresting me? I didn't commit any crime. Wang Ida was still not obedient. He struggled hard to resist. Behave yourself. One of the policemen went up and hit him. Immediately, he became much more obedient and sobered up. Brother, you have to help me. I didn't commit any crime. He turned his head and said to the strong man behind him. You are in the police station. Cooperate with the police, comrades, the strong man said very calmly. He was the village's joint defense captain. At night, when he was watching TV at home, he suddenly received a call from the town's police station. They said that there were 2 policemen who needed his help. Generally, The village's joint defense captain had a good relationship with the police station. He asked what was going on. The other party only said that they were looking for someone, but didn't say the person's name. After a while, the two policemen arrived in the village. When he heard the name, Wang Jiangang realized that something might happen tonight. However, when he really arrived at this person's house and saw that the person behind the door was holding a knife, his head buzzed. These two policemen were brought by him. If an accident really happened, then he would have an unshirkable responsibility. At that time, he couldn't wait to go up and knock this drunk guy down with a stick. Brother? Help? You're King tricking me. Just you wait. Wang Jiangang shouted in his heart. This guy was famous in the village for being shameless and always causing trouble. It would be good for him to go in and receive some education. Get in. A policeman pressed Wang Yida's head and stuffed him into the police car. The police car flashed its sirens and left. About an hour later, in the duty room of the police station in town. I'm really trespassing on private property. I'm not threatening anyone. Wang Yida finally understood why he was invited in at night. It was Wang Fenghua's family. They actually called the police and said that they had trespassed on private property and even threatened them. In all honesty, he had knocked on the door when he entered and even shouted. Before he left, he had left behind some harsh words. Could that even be considered a threat? Think about it carefully. One of the policemen slammed the table and said, he was in a bad mood that night. He suddenly received a call to dispatch the police, saying that someone had trespassed on private property and threatened them. He guessed that there was something behind it, so he immediately dispatched the police. He didn't expect to encounter such a situation. When he shouted for the door to open, he saw the knife. The two of them were shocked. If they were accidentally hit by the knife, they would be seriously injured. They might even become martyrs. The more they thought about it, the angrier they became. At that time, you were quite unreasonable. It's too late to admit defeat now. I really didn't. Why are you holding a knife in the middle of the night? I'm afraid that there are bad guys. Wang Yida said. Bad guy? Who's the bad guy? The two policemen were even angrier when they heard this. So we are the bad guys and you are the good guy. A good guy who uses a knife to be unreasonable. Good, very good. Do you know that you are assaulting the police? One of the policemen said. I didn't. According to the Public Security Punishment Regulations of the People's Republic of China, Article 50. One of the policemen recited the law as if he was reciting a book. Fine and detention. After hearing such words, Wang Yida was stunned. Although he was usually quite silly in the village, this was the first time he had been to the police station. He was scared out of his wits. He was now regretting it. Police comrade, I was wrong. Tell me, what did you do wrong? The next day, Wang Yao got up before dawn. After making some breakfast, he gave San Xian some dog food. He then started a busy day. The people in the village at the foot of the mountain also started a busy day. What? He was arrested. Early in the morning, several families heard the breaking news. Wang Yida had been detained by the police at the police station last night and had not returned yet. What did he do? Who knows? He should be preparing to do good deeds on a daily basis. In the early morning, the wind of gossip had been blowing in the small mountain village. Above the sky, white clouds were everywhere. The sun was shining brightly. In the cottage on Nanshan Hill, there was a pot, a few herbs. The faint smell of herbs filled the cottage. Wang Yao was brewing medicine for Wang Mingbao's father. Sephora flavescens, Fructus aurantii, kudzu root, they were all common herbs. The prescription was also an ancient prescription. Wang Yao added a little glossy Ganoderma and Shanjing to it to replenish vitality. Woof, woof, woof. There was barking outside. Someone should have gone up the mountain. Wang Yao was brewing medicine in the cottage. He did not get up. Let him in. He shouted to the outside, and the barking stopped. Your dog is psychic. It can understand what you are saying. It was Wang Mingbao who pushed the door into the cottage. Brewing medicine again? Well, the tea is on the table. Make the kind you want. Okay. Wang Mingbao did not hesitate. He made himself a cup of Westlake Longjing tea. He took the teacup and a folding stool to Wang Yao. Your temper is really good. I definitely can't sit still. You'll get used to it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Tell me what's going on. You didn't make it clear on the phone. Wang Mingbao made a special trip today because of what happened last night. After the incident in the afternoon, Wang Yao went into the cottage and thought for a long time. Then, he called Wang Mingbao and explained his thoughts. Wang Mingbao was angry when he heard that there was someone who dared to bully his brother in the village. He immediately called his brother. Then, the police entered the village last night and invited Wang Mingbao to the police station for a heart-to-heart talk. To put it nicely, this was using legal means to protect one's legal rights from being violated by others. To put it bluntly, this was abusing public office for personal gain. It was a prank. In this regard, Wang Yao had thought about it. He wanted to let some people know that he, Wang Yao, and his family were not pushovers. Not everyone could bully them. So what if it was a villager? They were unreasonable and shameless. He could only use some extreme methods. Wang Yao calmly recounted the incident. When he called Wang Mingbao last night, he did not go into details. When I was in the village, I didn't see that Wang Ida actually had such a shameless side. Wang Mingbao was angry after listening. Well, I've seen it. Wang Yao added a piece of firewood to the fire as he spoke. This matter can't be let go like this, Wang Mingbao said. In the county hospital in Lianshan County. Why hasn't your brother come yet? The old man was a little anxious. It's okay. I'll go with you. It was not easy to get a specialist, but his son did not come. He had to be accompanied by his daughter to have a checkup. It's okay. It's benign. It's not big. At your age, you don't need to have surgery. Take medicine to control it. We can't rule out the possibility that it will go away. After hearing what the doctor said, the old man and his daughter were relieved. As soon as they returned to the ward, his daughter's phone rang. She picked it up and listened to a few words. Her face changed. What's the matter? Dad, I'll go home first. I have something to do. I'll ask Qinggang to accompany you later, the woman said. Go ahead if you have something to do. I'm fine here, the old man said. Okay, I'll come back in the afternoon. After saying that, the woman hurriedly left. On Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao moved the medicine pot away from the fire and poured the medicine into a medicine bottle. Here, this is the medicine I made for your uncle. Take it warm and finish it in 2 days. Thank you. Wang Mingbao stayed on the hill for a while before leaving. Don't overdo it. Before he left, Wang Yao reminded him. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. If it weren't for the fact that we're from the same village, I would have made him suffer this time, Wang Mingbao said coldly. After Wang Mingbao left, Wang Yao went up the hill and moved a 3-foot-high and 1-foot-wide stone. In his array there were trees, stones, and water. The tree was the frame, like the bones of a human. The stone was the assistant, like the internal organs of a human. The water was the spirit, like the blood of a human. Here. After the stone was set, Wang Yao pressed hard. The stone was forced into the soil. This was the 4th stone. In this array, 9 such stones were needed. They were placed in different positions. On this side of Nanshan Hill, the suitable stones that could be used were all used by Wang Yao. I have to go to the other side to look. After saying that, he was ready to go up the hill to look for suitable stones on the other side of Nanshan Hill. Caw! In the sky, there was suddenly an eagle's cry. Wang Yao looked up at the sky and saw the goshawk swoop down and drop something in front of him. The goshawk flew to a nearby tree. Looking down, he saw a rabbit dripping with blood. What do you mean, Desya? Caw. The goshawk cried. Woof, woof, woof. San Xian, who was following Wang Yao, also barked excitedly. Roast a rabbit? Wang Yao knew what the two foodies were thinking. Since the first time he roasted rabbit for them, they seemed to like the taste. As long as the goshawk caught game, it would let Wang Yao roast it. Even the rats were no exception. Chapter 121. Okay, I'll roast it for you. A pile of firewood started to burn. The processed hare was slowly roasted over the fire. The aroma slowly drifted out. What flavor do you want to eat? Cumin or spicy? Wang Yao asked with a smile. He squatted aside and stared at San Xian, who was roasting the hare. Woof, woof. What answered him was two dissatisfied barks. In the village at the foot of the hill, in the village secretary's house, Uncle, you have to do something about this, a middle-aged woman said while wiping her tears. Wang Jianli didn't speak. He just lowered his head and smoked. After a while, he spoke. You're wrong about this. Isn't this extortion? He knew what happened last night. Not long after the incident, Wang Jiangang came to his house and told him about it. He thought about it carefully and then made a phone call. He guessed the cause of the incident. That young man is not as simple as you think. Being kind did not mean that he would be bullied. There was no necessary connection between kindness and weakness. Uncle, I know we're wrong. Please help us. After all, we're from the same village, the woman said. After receiving the phone call, she immediately went to the town's police station. However, she didn't see anyone. It wasn't easy for her to ask someone for help. She got some information. It said that her brother had threatened people and threatened the police with a knife. When she heard that, she was scared silly. After thinking about it, she could only ask the village secretary for help. On the way, she thought about it carefully and felt that it was likely to have something to do with Wang Yao's family. You know we're from the same village. Why did you do that? Wang Jianli said with a cold face. This matter was not easy to handle. He knew a little about the young man. Not to mention other things, the relationship between him and Wang Mingbao was like that of a brother. Wang Mingbao's father was now the mayor of the town. He had a strong momentum. It was said that the town secretary was not in good health recently, so he had the final say in the town. Sometimes, some things could be done with just a word from him. Instead of looking for me, why don't you look for him? Wang Jianli said. He didn't want to help or get involved in this matter. The woman was in a bit of a dilemma. She didn't want to look for Wang Yao's family, mainly because she felt apologetic. You actually know how to be embarrassed now? Why didn't you have this awareness back then? Wang Jianli thought to himself. His family is easy to talk to. Seeing that the other party was unwilling to leave, Wang Jianli added. All right, I'll give it a try. After the woman made up her mind, she left Wang Jianli's house and went to the supermarket in the village to buy some things. Then, she went straight to Wang Yao's house. She stood outside the door and hesitated for a few minutes before knocking and entering. As soon as she entered, she saw Wang Fenghua and Zhang Xiaoying in the courtyard and greeted them with a smile. Big brother, sister-in-law. Why are you here? The couple in the courtyard was stunned when they saw the woman. This stone is good. On one side of Nanshan Hill, Wang Yao looked at the mountain stone in front of him. It was about the height of a person and a few feet wide. It vaguely formed the shape of a mountain. Take it back and put it in the battle array. He did as he said. He lowered his waist and held the stone with both hands. With a little force, the stone, which was about a few 100 kilograms, shook a little. Hiss-hoo. He took a few deep breaths, and the qi in his body began to circulate faster, like a surging river. With a ha sound, the mountain rock was forcibly pulled out of the ground by him. His arms had the strength of thousands of kilograms. Then, he dragged the mountain stone up the mountain. It was a few 100 kilograms. The mountain was rugged and there were no roads. Naturally, it was very strenuous. Although he had the help of Nashi and his strength was far better than ordinary people, he had to stop and rest after walking for a short distance. It took him a lot of effort to drag the mountain stone up the mountain. Looking down, he could see the trees that had just been planted a few days ago. Ring, ring, ring. The phone in his pocket rang. He took it out and saw that it was a call from his family. They asked him to go down the mountain at noon. They had something to tell him. After hanging up the phone, Wang Yao slowly moved the mountain stone down the mountain. As the saying went, it was easy to go up the mountain but hard to go down. This sentence could not be more appropriate to describe the movement of this mountain rock. After a lot of effort, Wang Yao moved the mountain stone to a suitable position. However, he was not in a hurry to set it up. Fortunately, there were not many people on the mountain at this time. Most of them had already gone down the mountain to eat. Otherwise, if someone saw the scene just now, who knew what kind of rumors would spread? After all, that was when it weighed a few 100 pounds. It was almost impossible for an ordinary person to move it, let alone move it. When Wang Yao went down the mountain and returned home, it was already past 1 p.m. "Why are you back so late?" his mother asked as soon as he entered the door. "I had something to do on the mountain. I was delayed. Why did you ask me to come down?" "Eat first. We'll talk after eating," Wang Yao's mother said. "You and Dad haven't eaten yet?" "No, we're not very hungry." The family had lunch together. Wang Yao helped his mother clean up the dishes. Last night, Wang Ida was arrested by the town police, Wang Fenghua said as he lit a cigarette. "Yes, I know about this." "You called?" "Yes." Wang Yao poured a glass of water for each of his parents. "This." Zhang Xiuying frowned after hearing this. The couple was indeed angered by Wang Ida last night, but they didn't think that their son would use this method to punish the other party. In their opinion, this matter was a bit too much. After all, it was a blind date in the same village. In the same village, they would see each other frequently. No one wanted to make things too stiff. Moreover, the couple were also people who cared about their reputation. If this matter was spread out, they would be laughed at by others. Wang Yizhuan came just now. No wonder. After listening to his mother's words, Wang Yao knew why his parents suddenly asked him to go home. It was because of this matter. Why did she come? To plead for leniency. You can think about it again. It's almost done, Zhang Xiuying said. It's not time yet. Wait a little longer. In front of his parents, Wang Yao told them his inner thoughts. His parents were kind-hearted. They knew how to be merciful. However, some people were different. They were used to being rascals. This kind of person would easily forget the pain after the scar healed. Therefore, it was best to let him be hurt once. It was best to hurt him deeply so that he would remember it firmly and not dare to do it again in the future. Such a wicked person needed to be taught a good lesson. "How long do we have to wait?" Zhang Xiuying asked. "This matter is none of your business. If someone asks about this matter again, you can say that you don't know," Wang Yao said. Wang Fenghua did not speak from beginning to end. He just smoked silently. In the end, he put out the cigarette in his hand and said, "Your mother and I will not interfere in this matter. You decide on your own." Okay. This matter was settled. At this time, the sound of the door opening came from outside. The door opened and a beautiful woman came in. "Sister?" Wang Yao was stunned. He then rubbed his eyes. They had not seen each other for only 2 weeks. His sister's appearance had changed greatly. Her long hair was cut short and she looked more neat. Of course, in terms of beauty, there was no sign of her. "Dad, Mom." Wang Ru smiled and greeted them. Her voice was much gentler. "What's going on?" The old couple looked at each other. Their eyes were full of surprise. Wang Yao sat aside and touched his chin. "Sister, you came back alone. Where's my brother-in-law?" "What brother-in-law?" "Nonsense. Mom, I haven't eaten yet. Sit down and rest. I'll cook for you. What do you want to eat? Zhang Xiuying smiled. Anything. Sister, I haven't seen you for more than half a month. What have you been busy with? Wang Yao got up and poured a cup of hot water for his sister. I was transferred to another job. Wang Ru smiled. Transferred? Where? I'm still in the Agriculture Bureau. I was transferred to another department. To be precise, I was promoted, Wang Ru said happily. Promoted? You? What do you mean? You don't want your sister to do well, right? My hard work in the bureau is obvious to all. It's natural for me to be promoted, Wang Ru said confidently. Congratulations. Let's ask Mom to cook 2 more dishes tonight. Let's celebrate. Our Wang family also has a cadre. Of course. After chatting with his sister at home for a while, Wang Yao went up to Nanshan Hill again. After going up the hill, Wang Yao confirmed the location. He then dug a hole about 1 meter in diameter and more than half a meter deep. He then stood up the rock he got from the other side of the hill and pressed it hard. He then stabilized it with soil. After he was done, he went into the cottage and made a cup of tea. He then took out a Taoist scripture and read it softly. In a villa in Lianshan County, a couple was sitting in the living room and talking softly. Why? Do you want to ask for him? The woman asked. Yes, it's reasonable to ask. After all, he did me a big favor this time, the middle-aged man said. Okay. Ask him. I'd better go there myself. Okay. Invite him to our house someday, the woman said with a smile. She was beautiful and graceful. That's a good idea. The man picked up his phone and made a call. He said goodbye to his wife and left the house. In the afternoon, a car drove into the small mountain village and stopped at the south end of the village. A middle-aged man wearing sunglasses got out of the car. He walked along the mountain road and went up Nanshan Hill. He sighed softly. He saw the trees on Nanshan Hill from afar. I haven't been here for a while. So many trees have been planted. He was still halfway up the hill when he heard dogs barking. When he reached the cottage, he subconsciously looked away from the saplings on both sides. They were as thick as a thumb. Yes, looking at them made him feel dizzy. He didn't know why. Brother Tian, please come in. Wang Yao pushed the door open and saw an acquaintance. He invited him into the cottage. A few words of greeting and a cup of tea. Chapter 122. I haven't been here for only a few days, and your mountain has changed so much. Tian Yuantu sighed. I had nothing to do, so I planted a few trees. It's a pity that such a big mountain is empty, Wang Yao said with a smile. How come you have time to come here today? I have something to ask you for help. Tian Yuantu didn't hide anything. He was very straightforward. After getting along with him these days, he already knew some of Wang Yao's temperament. If he had something to ask, he would say it directly. There was no need to beat around the bush. Tell me about it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Can you make a house call? House call? Where to? This was not the first time someone had asked him to make a house call. Dao City. Hearing the name of the place, Wang Yao didn't immediately answer. Although the city was not far from his hometown and was very famous, he had never been there. Your friend? Not himself, but his son, Tian Yuantu said. You'd better show me his case first. Okay, I'll send it to you as soon as possible. Can you show me around? After talking about this matter, Tian Yuantu suddenly made a request that surprised Wang Yao. Okay. Wang Yao smiled. This was the first time that someone had made such a request among the few people who often came here. The two of them left the cottage and walked up the mountain. Your herbs are growing very well. This was not the first time he had seen them, but every time he saw them, he was still surprised. Wang Yao just smiled when he heard that. This is Tian Yuantu stopped under a tree and looked at a plant that was not particularly eye-catching. Ginseng? Yes. This was the ginseng that Wang Yao had planted before the spring festival. You still plant this? It's not really planting. I'm just trying it out, Wang Yao explained. Ordinary people didn't know most of the Chinese medicinal herbs, but they knew a little about herbs like ginseng, glossy Ganoderma, and Polygonum multiflorum because they were often mentioned in TV shows, movies, and novels. They were described as very magical. Not only could they prolong one's life, but they could also increase one's power. Some could even bring the dead back to life. There were a few marked Chinese medicinal herbs that also appeared in the catalogue of magic herbs. Ginseng and Ganoderma lucidum were both included, but they had changed their names. Maple trees, banyan trees, eucalyptus trees. You seem to have planted many kinds of trees, Tian Yuantu said as he walked. It's quite a lot. After a round, Tian Yuantu felt a little tired, so he stopped to rest. Wang Yao, who was beside him, was just warming up. The air here is so good, Tian Yuantu exclaimed. Lianshan County and even Hike City didn't have many heavy industries and high-pollution enterprises. The air quality was good, but it was naturally worse than the mountain village. Life on the mountain seems a little lonely and cold, but it's also interesting. Living in such an environment for a long time is good for the body. Tian Yuantu was a little envious of Wang Yao at this time. In such a quiet and free life, one didn't have to think too much and there wasn't so much deception. Just walking around and looking around made one feel a lot better. I really envy you, Tian Yuantu sighed. As long as you want, you can also live such a life, Wang Yao said with a smile. Indeed, with Tian Yuantu's current financial resources and connections, it was too easy to rent a mountain and see a few houses. The problem was whether he was willing to give up his current career and choose another way of life. Wait a little longer. Tian Yuantu sighed softly. Wang Yao smiled and didn't say anything. His answer was something he had expected. After all, not everyone could give up a billion-dollar career and live in seclusion. This required a lot of courage and courage. After walking around, the two of them went up the mountain. Although the mountain wasn't tall, one could still see far into the distance. It made one's heart relax. After going down the mountain, the two of them went back to sit in the cottage. While chatting, Tian Yuantu asked Wang Yao if he could check his body. He had always been very curious about Wang Yao's medical skills. A prescription could cure a long-term illness, but he only asked for the medicine and never looked for a doctor. No hurry. Have a drink first. Wang Yao poured a cup of tea for him. After sitting for a while, he felt his pulse. Pulse? Tian Yuantu was quite surprised. During the process of diagnosis, Wang Yao frowned slightly. Most of your body is in good condition. There is only one place. Your back is injured? Yes, it's an old injury. Hearing this, Tian Yuantu was surprised. His back was indeed injured, but it was more than 20 years ago. At that time, he was still a soldier in the army. When you were injured, it should be winter, right? That's right. How did you know that? Tian Yuan was shocked after hearing that. It was not particularly difficult for him to know that he had an old injury on his back. It could be seen through his pulse. But to know that he had an old injury on his back, just by feeling his pulse, and it was an injury he had suffered in the winter, this was too amazing. It was really miraculous. You have an evil cold in your back. It has invaded your lungs. You often have a dull pain in your lungs, especially in winter, right? Yes, Tian Yuantu said. Why didn't you come to me earlier? Wang Yao said. His old injury was not as light as it looked. It had already entered his internal organs. Although it was not life-threatening, the more he went back, the more it was removed. I also looked around. When I was in the south, I met a meow doctor. He gave me a prescription to take when the disease attacked. In the past few years, the pain was not so bad. It was just a dull pain, so I didn't take it seriously, Tian Yuantu explained. I see. Do you have a way to eradicate this disease for me? Let me think about it. Wang Yao was not in a hurry to answer. The hidden disease had entered the internal organs. It was not so easy to remove it. It needed the right medicine. Tian Yuantu left with surprise and admiration. Originally, he came to the mountain to ask Wang Yao to help his half-friend and half-business partner. He did not expect that Wang Yao could see his hidden disease and had a way to solve it. This made him see how extraordinary Wang Yao was. In order to celebrate Wang Ru's promotion, dinner was very sumptuous. The family of 4 drank some wine. Sister, congratulations on your promotion. At the dinner table, Wang Yao smiled and toasted his sister. Thank you. But I think it's more important for you to bring my brother-in-law back. Let's drink. Wang Ru stared at Wang Yao. Yao, you are right. You are almost 30 years old. Zhang Xiuying started to mumble and talked for a few minutes. Mom, eat. Wang Ru hurriedly put food into her mother's bowl. She did not forget to kick Wang Yao under the table. The family was talking and laughing happily. Unknowingly, the sky outside was dark. After dinner, Wang Yao stayed at home for a while. He did not leave until nearly 9 p.m. The spring night was not as cold as winter. The breeze was warm. Wang Yao walked along the winding mountain road. He was not in a hurry. After reaching Nanshan Hill, he poured a cup of hot water and sat on the folding stool in the courtyard. He leaned against the wall and looked up at the sky. The dog got up from the kennel and lay down in front of him. San Xian, what do you think will happen tomorrow? Woof! The dog barked softly. I think it will rain tomorrow. The rain started in the morning the next day. It was not heavy, but it was fine and continuous. Spring rain was always like this. Compared to previous years, this year's spring rain was timely and heavier. Spring rain was not afraid of heavy rain. In town, the rain was heavier. Are you still going out? Yes, I still have some things to do. I'll go in the morning. You are really busy as the mayor. How much did you drink yesterday? Not much, just 3 glasses of wine. The middle-aged man smiled and said, You don't say. The medicine given by Yao is really effective. After drinking it for 2 days, I feel much better. My stomach doesn't hurt as much. Didn't Mingbao say that he is really capable? His grandfather's illness was cured thanks to him. Go home for lunch. Don't eat outside. Okay, I'll listen to you. Wang Yao went down the hill near noon. As soon as he arrived at the door, he saw a woman coming out of his house. He knew this woman. They had just met a few days ago. You are back, Yao. As soon as she saw Wang Yao, the woman immediately came up to greet him with a smile. Yes, Wang Yao replied with a simple word. It was our fault for what happened a few days ago. This is the hospitalization fee. I brought it all. Can you count it? The woman was Wang Yao's sister, who was invited to the police station. She came to the police station for the 2nd time because of her brother. However, when she went to Wang Yao's house, his parents didn't answer her. They meant that the matter was done by Wang Yao. They didn't know. She just came out of the hospital and was about to go to the hill to look for him. Wang Yao took the envelope. Without looking at it, he took out 600 yuan and handed it to the woman. Buy some things for your grandfather. Consider it a token of my appreciation. After saying that, Wang Yao turned and walked into the house. Hey, about your uncle? He used a knife to scare the police. This matter has to wait until they calm down. But Wang Yizhuan was already a little angry. To speak so humbly to a junior, this was a kind of humiliation for her. She puffed up a few times, but swallowed the unpleasant words that were about to come out of her mouth. Then I will have to trouble you, Yao. Got it. When Wang Yao opened the door, he bumped into his sister. When she saw him, she pulled him aside and asked him about what happened that day. Wang Yao calmly told her what happened. This is too much. I didn't expect that their family is such people. Wang Ru said angrily. You did the right thing. You should let them have a taste of their own medicine. Chapter 123. I'll take care of it, Wang Yao said. After hearing that, the family didn't say anything else. After having lunch at home, Wang Yao didn't rush to go up the mountain. He stayed at home for most of the afternoon. After the rain stopped, he went up the mountain. After going up the mountain, he went to the other side of the mountain. He moved a smaller stone into the array and placed it in a suitable position. I still need a few more. Wang Yao moved a little and turned to go up the mountain. There were many such stones on the other side of the mountain. However, most of them were on the mountainside. If he wanted to move them up, it would take some effort. The rain hadn't stopped completely. It was still falling. At the foot of the mountain, he found a suitable mountain rock. The size was not small, so he planned to put the rock into the spirit-gathering battle array that he had set up. After the rain, the mountain was a little muddy, so it was more difficult to drag the rock. After walking for a short distance, he needed to stop and rest. However, the speed of his nashi seemed to have increased a lot unconsciously. When he reached the top of the mountain, Wang Yao suddenly stopped. He seemed to have sensed something. He didn't care about the mud on the ground. He sat down with his legs crossed. His nashi was like a river. It flowed down along the meridians. Buzz. There seemed to be some vibration. It seemed that something had been opened. Wang Yao's body shook slightly. Then, it returned to normal. Another meridian. There was an extra reward for this work. His meridians were unobstructed. Even the fatigue in his body was dispelled. After placing the stone, it was already dark. Wang Yao didn't stay on the mountain for too long. He went down the mountain. The next morning, Wang Yao sent his sister to work in the city. The fog was thick. The visibility on the road was very low. Wang Yao drove slowly. Whoosh! A car drove past his car at a very fast speed. In the fog, there were no warning lights. Seeing this, Wang Yao frowned slightly. It was dangerous to drive too fast in such weather. After driving for a while, Wang Yao saw something and slowed down. What's wrong? Wang Ru, who was sitting in the passenger seat, asked. Nothing, there seems to be a car accident up ahead. After walking slowly for less than 10 meters, he saw a car accident in front of him. Moreover, it was a collision of many cars. What is that? Wang Yao looked at the most conspicuous yellow car in the middle. It's the school bus. Without any hesitation, he turned on the turn signal and parked the car on the side of the road. Then, he got out of the car. This was a T-junction, and 3 cars had collided with each other. Judging from the situation at the scene, the culprit was another car. It was hit by the guardrail a few meters away, and the car was overturned and severely deformed. Wang Yao took a closer look and saw that it was the car that had overtaken his car at a high speed. The other 3 cars must have crashed into each other to avoid it. The injuries of the people in the car that had rolled out were unknown. The people on the other cars did not seem to be seriously injured, but there were some children on the school bus. It's on fire. It was unknown who shouted this. Wang Yao looked for the source of the sound and saw that there was a fire under the school bus. There were children in the car. Seeing this, he hurried to help. The front door of the school bus was deformed and could not be opened. The door on the driver's side was better. The children could only get off from there, but the speed was very slow. The fire was about to reach the mailbox. Wang Yao looked around. He raised his hand and punched twice to break 2 windows. Get off from here. The frightened children hurriedly ran out from the windows. The people in the cars that were not injured also ran to help. Whoosh! The fire suddenly burned and spread rapidly. Hurry up! In the end, all the children in the cars were rescued. The cars did not care about the scene and directly moved the cars that could still be driven to the side. That was close. What kind of school bus is this? How could it catch fire so easily? Wang Yao lowered his head and looked at the dozens of children who were still in shock. He gave them a quick check to make sure they were not injured. His sister, Wang Ru, was comforting the children. Looking at the thick fog, he did not know when the rescue car would come. The traffic was blocked. The cars behind were all stopped. The traffic was different. Ouch! He suddenly heard a voice. He looked up and saw a man squatting on the side of the road with his hand on his stomach. His face was a little pale. Wang Yao saw that his face was pale, so he kindly went forward to help. "Hello, are you not feeling well?" "Yes, my stomach suddenly hurts badly. Let me take a look for you." "I know some medical skills," Wang Yao said. This person was very active in helping to save the children. "Really? Then I'll have to trouble you." This person was obviously in great pain. His face was pale. Wang Yao checked his pulse. His face immediately changed. Not good. The person in front of him had internal bleeding and needed urgent treatment. If it was not treated, there might be a big problem. "What's wrong?" his companion next to him asked. "He needs urgent treatment. The sooner the better," Wang Yao said. "What? Woo." At this time, the siren sounded. The police car and ambulance arrived. Phew, they came in time. The police car helped to guide the traffic. Then, the accident treatment car left the immobile car. The doctor from the ambulance was busy treating the people injured because of the traffic accident. There were 4 people injured in the traffic accident. 2 of them were slightly injured. The driver of the car, who caused the accident, was seriously injured. He was in a coma. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The other person was the person Wang Yao had just diagnosed. He had internal bleeding. His friend did not forget to say one more thing when sending him to the ambulance. "Internal bleeding? How do you know?" "A doctor just diagnosed him. He said it was very dangerous," his friend said. "I see," the doctor in charge of the house call said. The ambulance left in a hurry. Half an hour later, in the county hospital. "The patient's condition is very critical. Our hospital's medical conditions are not able to treat him. Contact the patient's family immediately and prepare to transfer him to another hospital." "What? Internal bleeding? Who said that?" A deputy director of the emergency department was stunned. There was a doctor at the scene of the accident. He said so. Ah. At this time, the patient lying on the moving bed screamed in pain. He seemed to be in great pain. "Do a CT scan. Tell him to prepare for surgery." "Okay." 20 minutes later, in the CT examination room. "There is no need to look carefully. There is internal bleeding. I suggest immediate surgery," the doctor said as soon as he saw the scan result. Because it was an emergency surgery, the arrangements were made quickly. The patient's friend helped him with everything. He watched as his friend was pushed into the operating room. Not long after, the patient's family members rushed over. "How is it?" the man's mother asked anxiously. "Auntie, he has already entered the operating room. Don't worry too much." After about 2 hours, the surgery was completed. The patient was pushed out. "How is my son, doctor?" the patient's mother hurriedly asked. "The surgery was very successful. Recover well. There will be no problem," the surgeon said. On the one hand, their operation went relatively smoothly. On the other hand, because the patient was sent to the clinic in time, the targeted laboratory tests were carried out, which saved some unnecessary procedures and time. This was also a very important point. "Thank you." "You are welcome. I am curious. Which doctor determined that his abdominal cavity was hyperemia?" the surgeon asked. "A doctor at the scene of the accident," the patient's friend said. The patient's friend said. He had a deep impression of that person because that person was the first to rush to the side of the burning school bus to save the trapped children. If you have a chance, you have to thank him. The information he provided is very important. It saved a lot of time, the doctor said. After the patient was sent to the ward, the patient's mother asked her son's friend the name of the kind doctor. However, the patient's friend did not know. The situation was so urgent that he did not think too much. Alas, the woman sighed after hearing that. Because of the accident, Wang Yao's sister was late for work. This was the first time she was late after being promoted. It was on Monday, when the bureau was about to have a regular meeting. However, she did not say anything about it. On the contrary, she was happy. She did not take it to heart at all. On the contrary, she was very happy to be able to help the children because of the accident on the way to the hospital. After leaving the unit where his sister worked, Wang Yao was not in a hurry to go home. Instead, he walked around Lianshan County and went to two places. First, he went to Wang Mingbao's shop. "Hey, why are you here so early today?" Wang Mingbao invited him into the reception room with a smile and made him a cup of tea. "I sent my sister to work. I came to take a look around." "Good timing. I have something to ask you," Wang Mingbao said. "What is it?" "How to judge the quality of ginseng." "Ginseng? Why do you suddenly ask this?" Wang Yao was slightly surprised. "A friend of mine recently got a batch of wild ginseng. He is selling it. I also want 2 ginseng to nourish the old man's body. Can you take a look?" Wang Mingbao took out a box from the drawer and handed it to Wang Yao. "Northeast wild ginseng." As soon as he saw the words on the outside, Wang Yao smiled. The packaging was quite trendy. He opened the box and saw that the ginseng was not small. At first glance, it looked quite scary. However, after taking a closer look, he knew that it was artificially cultivated. In the process of cultivation, special things were used. "How is it? This is not wild ginseng at all. It is artificially cultivated with added medicine. It is best not to use it continuously." Wang Mingbao was stunned. Chapter 124. In fact, there has always been a phenomenon of inferior quality in the market, especially these medicinal materials in high demand, and the average person does not have the relevant knowledge and experience, so they can't make a good judgment and are often deceived. Take ginseng as an example. The most famous one is the Northeast ginseng. The Northeast has 3 treasures: ginseng, deer antler, and mink fur. This is written in the students' textbooks very early and has been famous for a long time. In today's society, the more famous something is, the more fake it is. For example, the most famous liquor in China is Maotai and Wuliangye, and the most fake liquor in the market is also from these 2 brands. Many ginseng in the market are claimed to be wild ginseng from the Northeast, but in fact, 90% of them are fake. "How much did you spend on these 2 ginseng?" "I didn't spend any money. My friend gave them to me," Wang Mingbao said. "Oh, that's good. The point is, he still has a lot." Wang Mingbao's next sentence startled Wang Yao. "A lot?" "Yes." "Haha, think about it," Wang Yao said. "How could there be so many wild ginseng, and it just happened to appear in Lianshan County? In fact, the production of wild ginseng in the Northeast is very low now. As people pursue profit, the wild ginseng has become less and less. It's a priceless thing. Once it appears, it will usually be crazily fought over. Your friend was either cheated or prepared to cheat. I have to ask him," Wang Mingbao said. "This kind of ginseng will have a certain toxic side effect on the body after eating it. It may not be a big deal if it is used sparingly." After leaving Wang Mingbao's place, Wang Yao went to Li Maoshuang's place. Since the last incident, the relationship between them had become closer. It had developed from a simple supply-demand relationship to a friendship. As soon as he saw Wang Yao's car coming in, Li Maoshuang greeted him happily. "Rare guest. I just got some good tea. Try it." The tea was good. Huangshan Maojian tea. There was an exquisite tea set on Li Maoshuang's table. Wang Yao remembered that it wasn't there the last time he came. "Come, have a taste." How does it taste? The soup was tender green and bright, fragrant and mellow. Good tea, Wang Yao said after tasting it. Here, take it back and drink it. Li Maoshuang took out 2 buckets and handed them to Wang Yao. How can that be? Why not? Don't go back this afternoon, it's my treat, Li Maoshuang said. No, it's my treat, Wang Yao said. I'll call a few friends. In the past few months, he had made some friends. He thought about it carefully. It seemed that he rarely or almost never took the initiative to invite them to get together. So he made a few phone calls. Several people on the other end of the phone agreed very quickly. Wang Yao didn't invite many people. Only 3 people, Wang Mingbao, Tian Yuantu, and Li Maoshuang, were invited. The location was Shenghua Hotel. That's settled. Today, it's my treat. Wang Yao smiled at Li Maoshuang. Okay, it's your treat. Li Maoshuang was not pretentious. He got along with his friends. He put away his shrewdness as a businessman and became more sincere and frank. This made Wang Yao feel very comfortable. After sitting at Li Maoshuang's place for a while, it was almost noon. The 2 of them went to the hotel together and booked a private room. Not long after the 2 of them sat down, Wang Mingbao arrived. Wang Yao introduced them to each other. After a few minutes, Tian Yuantu also arrived. Mr. Tian? Li Maoshuang and Wang Mingbao were surprised to see this person. Tian Yuantu was a well-known figure in Lianshan County. Although he was not a household name, people like Wang Mingbao and Li Maoshuang were very familiar with his deed. They didn't expect that the 3rd person Wang Yao invited was actually him. They couldn't get in touch with such a person even if they wanted to. Don't call me Mr. Tian. From today on, we are all friends, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. After greeting the waiter, the dishes they ordered were served one after another. They also ordered some wine. The 4 of them chatted and laughed. The atmosphere at the table was very harmonious. I suggest that we have more gatherings like this in the future. What do you think? Li Maoshuang said with a smile. I have no objection, Wang Mingbao said. Okay. Tian Yuantu smiled. In fact, this time he came completely to give face to Wang Yao. Okay. Wang Yao listened and smiled. At the banquet, Wang Mingbao, Tian Yuantu, and Li Maoshuang left their contact information. After the banquet, Tian Yuantu arranged for people to send Wang Yao back to the village. After going up the hill, Wang Yao made a cup of tea to relieve his hangover. He suddenly thought of the tea plants he planted last year. When he went out of the cottage, he saw that the tea plants were growing very well. The leaves were emerald green. There were many new leaves coming out as spring was approaching. This was also thanks to the watering of the ancient spring water. These days, he had received a lot of gifts from Tian Yuantu, He Qixing, and the others. He did not have a suitable gift to return the favor. Going to the supermarket to buy something was not suitable for their status. He had a lot of herbs in his herbal field, which could be made into medicinal herbs. However, it was inauspicious to give medicine to them. After thinking about it, these tea plants were suitable. He could make tea himself and give them as gift. This gift was also a kind of gift. However, making tea by hand was a technical job. Wang Yao had no foundation at all. So, he first bought a few books on making tea by hand from the internet to read and learn. In the area near the river in the southeast of Lianshan County, there were many villages and towns that grew green tea. There were many people who made tea by themselves. He planned to take some time to walk around and learn on the spot. After this matter was settled, he went to the other side of Nanshan Hill. This battle array needed a few more rocks. Ever since he had unblocked another meridian, he felt that his legs had become much stronger. He felt as though he was flying as he walked on the mountain path. Furthermore, it was much easier for him to move rocks this time. After unblocking another meridian, his body strength had increased a little. His physique had also changed a little. The main thing was that his inner breath had become thicker. This time, it only took him one afternoon. He first moved a piece of mountain rock from the foot of the back mountain to the center of the formation. Then, he moved another piece of mountain rock to the top of the mountain. Seeing that it was already late, he did not continue to move it down. The next morning, just after he finished his work, he saw two people coming up the mountain. One was an adult and the other was a child. They were Zhou Xiong and his son, which surprised Wang Yao. Like other people who came up the mountain, Zhou Xiong also came with gift. "Next time you come, don't bring anything." "Hello, uncle." Zhou Xiong's son smiled and greeted him. Maybe it was because he had not exercised for a long time. His breathing was a little erratic and his face was red after walking for a long time. "Okay, come in and have a rest." After entering the house, Wang Yao made a cup of tea for Zhou Xiong and water for Zhou Wukong. It was ancient spring water. "This water is delicious," Zhou Wukong said after drinking a mouthful. "Drink more." Wang Yao smiled and said. After this period of contact, he liked this child very much. He was sensible, strong, and much stronger than other children of his age. Of course, this may have something to do with his experience. After a short rest, Wang Yao checked the child's pulse again. The child's body was different from before. The vitality that had been stimulated with great difficulty last time seemed to be insufficient. Is the foundation still too weak? Can't he adjust by himself? You are recovering well. Well, I'll make another dose of medicine. You can come and get it when you need it. After the diagnosis, Wang Yao said to Zhou Xiong. Okay. Then, Wang Yao took the father and son to walk around the mountain. He wanted to ask them to stay for dinner, but they did not agree and left the mountain village near noon. I need to make a dose of regather soup. After seeing the father and son off, Wang Yao called Li Maoshuang and asked him to prepare the herbs he needed. In the afternoon, he placed the last two rocks in the array and fixed the position. When the last rock was fixed, there was no sign. Suddenly, a strong wind blew, rustling the leaves. In an instant, it disappeared without a trace. Wang Yao stood on the mountain and carefully felt for a while. He did not find any obvious changes. In the afternoon, Tian Yuantu came with a case file. It was the patient he had mentioned to Wang Yao last time. Tian Yuantu seemed to be very careful. The name of the case had been changed. That's all. Wang Yao looked at the case file and the test report in his hand. The information was very limited. That's all. Tian Yuantu was a little embarrassed because the information provided by Tian Yuantu was too little. Let me take a look first. Wang Yao smiled and said, By the way, I have something to ask you. What is it? Tell me. Do you know anyone who knows how to make tea by hand? Make tea by hand? Why do you suddenly ask about this? Tian Yuantu was curious. There were not many people who knew how to make tea by hand in Lianshan County. Outside, the tea trees I planted should be ready to be picked. I want to make tea by myself so that everyone can have a taste. Wang Yao pointed to the tea trees outside the window. I have to go back and ask. There are many tea growers in the area around Linhe. Nowadays, tea is made by machines. There should not be many people who know how to make tea by hand. Please help me ask around. When I have time, I will go to Linhe to have a look, Wang Yao said. No problem. It's a piece of cake, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. After sitting at Wang Yao's place for a while, he said goodbye and left. He walked to the foot of the mountain and suddenly stopped. He turned around and looked up the mountain. Strange. Why does it feel a little strange? Is it an illusion? When he was on the mountain, he felt very comfortable. The air was fresh and his breathing was smooth. There was a mountain breeze, but it was not hurried on his body. After going down the mountain, this feeling was gone. Instead, he felt that the mountain breeze was slightly cold. Is it because there are many trees on the mountain? He just felt a little confused and did not think much about it. Chapter 125. In the evening, when Wang Yao was having dinner at home, he received a phone call. Not long after, Wang Mingbao came to his house. He seemed to be in a hurry. "What's wrong?" "Uncle, Auntie, I have something to tell you," Wang Mingbao said. "Come." Wang Yao invited him to his bedroom. "What's the matter? Do you remember the ginseng I told you about last time?" "Yes, I remember. What's wrong?" "I went to that guy's house this afternoon. He sold more than half of the ginseng. Didn't you say that the ginseng might have side effects? Is it serious?" Wang Mingbao asked. "He sold so much. Will he commit a crime?" Ginseng is generally not taken at one time. The ginseng uses foreign substances to promote its growth. The side effects are relatively small, so it's not a big problem. The key is the price he sold it at. If it's shoddy ginseng, it's cheating. Did he sell it himself, or did he sell it to a middleman? How would I know? I got it. I'll ask Li Maoshuang. Wang Yao's eyes suddenly lit up. He made a phone call. Wang Mingbao immediately understood. I was wondering why there were so many ginseng around Lianshan recently. Shoddy ginseng is not cheap. This is against the rules. Li Maoshuang said over the phone. Every industry had its rules. Money could be earned, but rules could not be broken. Otherwise, there would be punishment. After listening to Li Maoshuang for a long time, Wang Yao roughly understood the matter. The trouble caused by Wang Mingbao's friend was not big, but it was not small. If he was really caught by someone and directly reported to the police, it would be considered shoddy ginseng. This could constitute a crime. He would be fined and detained. Hurry up and remind your friend. Otherwise, the consequences may be more serious, Wang Yao said. Okay, I'll talk to him. Wang Mingbao came and went in a hurry. Obviously, he had a good relationship with that person. That was why he was so concerned. I hope your friend will listen to your advice. As soon as Wang Mingbao left, he received a call from Zhou Xiong. What? You've been captured? Where? After knowing the location, Wang Yao immediately called Wang Mingbao and drove him to Lianshan County. They went straight to the police station. In the car, Wang Mingbao called people he knew. In the police station, Wang Yao saw Zhou Xiong, who was detained, and learned what had happened. Turned out that at night, Wang Mingbao went out to buy things and walk around. He happened to see a few young men groping a girl, so he went up to stop them. He didn't expect them to take out a knife. He didn't control himself and hurt a few people. It was reasonable to say that he acted bravely for a just cause. However, some of the people who were hurt by him seemed to have some family connections. They accused him of deliberately hurting people and arrested him. He was not familiar with Lianshan County. The only person he could think of who could help him was Wang Yao. Mingbao, can you ask who he hurt? Wang Yao asked Wang Mingbao, who was next to him. Okay. After a while, Wang Yao inquired about the news. The few people who caused the trouble had some background. They could be considered as rich people. Their parents were more or less related. Coincidentally, Zhou Xiong was not from Lianshan County, so he made the accusation. However, the girl who was bullied could not be found. There was no witness. This matter is a little troublesome. Wang Mingbao listened. The few families obviously didn't intend to let the matter go because they had knives in their hand. Zhou Xiong hit them hard. 3 of them were sent to the hospital. One of the young men broke 2 ribs. Okay, got it. Wang Yao made a phone call. However, 20 minutes later, a man in his 30s appeared in the police station. Zhang Peng was the lawyer he had met at the law firm that day. He would leave the professional matters to the professionals to handle. The problem is a little troublesome. After listening to Zhou Xiong's description, Zhang Peng said, That's why I asked you to come, because you are a professional. Just because of what you said, leave this matter to me. Zhou Xiong was worried about his son. Then, the lawyer showed his professional quality and connections. That night, he arranged for Zhou Xiong to be released on bail pending trial. Of course, he needed guarantors. Wang Yao and Wang Mingbao were the guarantors. After coming out of the police station, Zhou Xiong kept thanking Wang Yao and the others. Thank you. Let's go back first. I don't want Kong to worry. I'll leave the rest to Lawyer Zhang. No problem, Zhang Ping said. When he saw the money, he naturally had to help. After that, Wang Yao drove Zhou Xiong back to the place where he rented the house. Brother Zhou, you're so skilled. You can actually fight 4 people alone, Wang Yao said with a smile in the car. People in Sangzhou like to practice martial arts. I know a little, Zhou Xiong said. Can you teach me a few moves someday? Wang Yao asked casually. Okay. Zhou Xiong only said one word, but he agreed without hesitation. After returning to Zhou Xiong's house, his son was really worried about his father. He didn't sleep at all. When he saw his father come back, he was relieved. After staying at his house for a while, Wang Yao said goodbye and left. What about you? Are you going back to the village or to the shop? I'll go back to the village first. I'll come up tomorrow, Wang Mingbao said. After hearing that, Wang Yao drove back to his house. The child I saw just now is the patient you told me about a few days ago? Yes. He looks about 7 or 8 years old. He's actually a little older. He's almost 10 years old, Wang Yao said. He looks quite sensible. He suffered a lot from the illness, right? Yes. He couldn't sleep at night. He's much better now. He's a sensible child, Wang Yao said. After returning to the village, Wang Yao stopped the car. It was almost 11 p.m., but the lights at home were still on. Obviously, his parents were worried about him. He went into the house to inform his parents and then went up to Nanshan Hill. You're still going up the hill? It's so late. Aren't you afraid? Wang Mingbao asked. What's there to be afraid of? Wang Yao asked with a smile. At night at this time there are ghosts, Wang Mingbao said. I've been on the hill for more than 3 years. At this time I'm alone. There might be ghosts, but I haven't seen any. Wang Yao said with a smile. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going up the hill. After saying that, Wang Yao waved his hand and went up the hill. The next day there was a gentle breeze. On the top of the hill, a person was sitting upright like an old monk in meditation. The guiding skill mentioned in natural classics was wonderful. In fact, it could be used between movement and stillness. However, Wang Yao was used to practicing meditation. As another meridian was unblocked, his body had further changes. Physique 3, Strength 2. 5, Spirit 2. 5, Agility 2. 3, Will 2. 4. Every time a meridian was unblocked, his body's various data indicators would improve greatly. If this continues, what will I become when all the meridians in my body are unblocked? Will I become a leakless immortal? Wang Yao was looking forward to it. He found that his mission completion rate had already reached 21,100. He was very surprised to find that there were suddenly more people in his team. How come there are so many people? He thought for a while but couldn't figure it out. He simply stopped thinking about it. Anyway, it was a good thing. Near noon, he received a call from Lawyer Zhang. The family members asked for compensation. Zhou Xiong said that he could compensate them appropriately, but the request was higher than the price. Why compensation? Wang Yao asked. They were in the wrong first. Why do they want us to compensate them? And the price is so high. He couldn't be soft to this kind of people. Of course, this was only Wang Yao's own opinion. He had to ask Zhou Xiong for his opinion. Under the mediation of Lawyer Zhang, both sides sat together to talk. However, the attitude of the other side was very unfriendly and even a little arrogant. This made Zhou Xiong very angry, so the discussion fell apart. Fell apart? So they're going to resort to law? Wang Yao didn't have much reaction to the news. He knew a little about the temperament of these people. They thought that they had some power and connections, so they wanted to invert right and wrong. If it were in the past, he might hesitate and retreat. However, he had enough confidence now, whether it was in terms of connections or financial resources. He called Zhou Xiong and expressed his attitude. As long as Zhou Xiong needed help, he would do his best to help. It was not easy to come from afar to seek medical treatment. Moreover, the father and son had good character and temperament. Wang Yao felt that he needed to help because he could be a good Samaritan. This matter made Zhou Xiong, who was in Lianshan County, feel annoyed. He was originally a good Samaritan with good intentions and bravery. He didn't expect this in exchange. Fortunately, Wang Yao helped. Otherwise, he might still be in the police station. After all, he was unfamiliar with this place. He was very touched by Wang Yao's help and words on the phone. I didn't expect that this doctor not only has good medical skills, but also has a chivalrous heart and is willing to help others. He had a chivalrous demeanor. However, he didn't want to trouble Wang Yao too much. After thinking about it, he called another person. The next day, Lawyer Zhang was surprised. The group of people who were originally full of confidence and clamoring to teach Zhou Xiong a lesson suddenly changed their tone. Then, there was a video in the police station which showed the content of that night. A few young masters were flirting with a girl. Then, a strange passerby passed by. He saw the injustice and helped them. Those people even pulled out a knife and pointed at him. As a result, the stranger knocked them to the ground in a few seconds. With this video, everything was clear. Those families were also dumbfounded. How could the thing that they had tried so hard to hide suddenly appear? Soon, they knew that this stranger was not alone and had no help. He also had considerable connections in Lianshan County. It was said that this incident was caused by the words of a leader in the county. There were only a few leaders with real power in the county. The matter was solved. Zhou Xiong also got rid of the anger in his heart. He then called Wang Yao and told him about the matter. After all, Wang Yao was very concerned and helped. Chapter 126. It's good that you have solved it. Wang Yao was happy for him after hearing the news. Zhou Xiong was a responsible man, and his son was also very sensible. Wang Yao had a very good impression of the father and son. On the same day, Li Maoshuang personally sent the herbs Wang Yao needed to the mountain village. This was also the first time he had come to Nanshan Hill and seen Wang Yao's herbal field. Damn, you have so many herbs? He widened his eyes. Gleditsia, radix angustifolia, gentian, licorice. What are these? He curiously walked around the outside of the herbal field. The dog had been following him all the time. It looked at him as if he was a thief. Hey, what does your dog mean by looking at me like I'm a thief? Li Maoshuang was surprised. Yes, that should be what it means, Wang Yao replied with a smile. This dog is quite clever. Li Maoshuang was not angry after hearing that. He just laughed. Previously, I only knew that your medical skills were extraordinary. I thought you were a doctor. I didn't expect you to grow herbs on this mountain. You don't look like it. Li Maoshuang looked carefully. It was true that Wang Yao was growing herbs, and there were many kinds of herbs. There were at least dozens of kinds. However, the number of herbs was a little small. It was far from large-scale farming. Because of his profession, he had met many herb farmers. They generally raised only one or a few kinds of herbs. He had never seen someone like Wang Yao, who could grow dozens of kinds of herbs at once. Therefore, he did not think that he relied on this to make a living. Most of these herbs are for my own use. Wang Yao raised his hand and pointed at the herbal field. For your own use? How do you use them? Li Maoshuang asked curiously. To dispense medicine. To dispense medicine? Are you really a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner? Li Maoshuang asked. Yes and no. I am a pharmacist, Wang Yao said with a smile. Pharmacist? Pharmacist? This pharmacist is different. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. Li Maoshuang was puzzled, but when he saw the other party's expression, he thought for a moment and didn't ask any more questions. Wang Yao invited him to sit in the small house. There were no decorations in the small house, only a few simple tables and chairs. The walls were clean and white. It was simple, or rather shabby. Drink some tea. A pot of water, a cup of tea, and a faint aroma. Good tea, Li Maoshuang said after taking a sip. He was also a tea lover, so he could tell that this tea was not ordinary. You're on this mountain all day? More or less, Wang Yao said. A hermit in the mountains. It does have some of Tao Yuanming's artistic conception. Li Maoshuang said, but it's a bit boring. It's not boring. I can do a lot of things. Wang Yao looked out the window. Taking care of the medicinal field, reading scriptures, walking around the mountain, and cultivating were all things that could be done, so how could it be boring? Anyway, I can't stand this kind of life, Li Maoshuang said with a smile. Because of his health, he had stopped smoking and drinking. As long as it was a banquet, he would decline. However, he still kept his other hobbies, such as playing cards, fishing, and traveling. This was his life. Simply put, it was enjoyment. Since the scare, he had come to terms with it. He couldn't earn all the money he wanted. As long as he had enough to spend, his health came first. Li Maoshuang stayed on the mountain for about 20 minutes before leaving. Now that he had the herbs, the next step was to decoct the regather soup. Wang Yao looked up and looked out of the window. The sun was high in the sky, and the sky was just right. There was no time like the present and no time like today. Wang Yao immediately prepared the herbs, firewood, and other things, and then began to decoct the decoction. The fire was burning. The smell of the herbs was faint. Several herbs were added one after another. Wang Yao sat quietly in front of the fire, step by step. He was very careful and very serious. This was a decoction that could cure diseases and prolong life. When the decoction was successfully decocted, the sun was already halfway down the west. After the decoction was finished, he told Zhou Xiong to come to pick it up the next day. When he went down the mountain in the evening, he accidentally heard the villagers talking about him. Have you heard that Wang Ida was arrested because of Wang Fenghua's family? Yes, but he deserved it. He is not a good person. I didn't expect that Wang Fenghua, who doesn't talk much, would be so smart. I guess it's his son. I heard the secretary say that the young man is very smart. Wang Yao paused for a moment, then continued to leave. When he returned home for dinner, he also heard his parents talking about it. It's a good thing, he said. Good thing? What kind of good thing is this? Zhang Xiuying was quite angry. She was a person who cared about her reputation. She didn't want to hear the villagers say bad things about her family. It was obviously not something to be proud of. At least, that was what she thought. In the future, those people will be more peaceful, Wang Yao said with a smile. There was such a rumor in the village, which meant that they already had such an idea. They couldn't easily provoke their family members, otherwise there would be trouble. Wang Ida was an example that made the villagers vigilant. Wang Yao hoped that the villagers would have such an idea. It was a good thing to be moderately afraid and not provoke them. After dinner, Wang Yao stayed at home for a while. Then, he went out. When he reached the south end of the village, there was no light. Further south was the mountain. It was dark and he couldn't see the road clearly. When he got there, he suddenly sped up. The breath in his body was circulating. His legs were running fast. He walked as if he was flying. The wind was whistling in his ears. In the dark wilderness, the mountain road was rugged. It was as if he was walking on flat ground. In a short time, he had passed the winding mountain road and went straight to the cottage on Nanshan Hill. After going up the mountain, he sighed. Phew, good. He only dared to do such a thing at night. If it was during the day and he was seen by others, he would definitely be treated as a monster. After all, his speed was too fast, much faster than those sprinters. It was as shocking as flying on the grass. It feels good to indulge once in a while. Wang Yao moved his body. As usual, he looked up at the sky outside the cottage. Then, he went back to the cottage to recite scriptures. Everything was calm as usual. The next day, Zhou Xiong and his son came to the hill again. First, they came to get the medicine. Second, they came to let Wang Yao diagnose him again. Third, they came to take their son out for a walk. It was not appropriate to stay at home all the time. On the hill, Wang Yao diagnosed Zhou Wukong again. It was the same as last time. His vitality was not enough. It should be that his vitality was not fully recovered. Here is a dose of regather soup. Take it according to the original method. Wang Yao took out the medicine that he had prepared earlier. Okay, thank you. Zhou Xiong took the medicine and carefully put it away. Wang Yao's expression changed slightly because he heard the prompt of the system. The free medicine has reached the upper limit in the period. Sure enough, there was a limit to the free medicine provided by the system within 3 days. Zhou Xiong and his son walked on the hill again. Then, they said goodbye and left. Then, Wang Yao called up the system and checked the prompt. Free medicine. The same person no more than 3 times a month and 9 times a year. That was to say, the same person could get the prescription provided by the system at most 3 times a month and 9 times a year. If there were more, the person would have to pay. This was also the limit of the system. Dad, I feel very comfortable on the hill. After going down the hill, Zhou Wukong's face was red. He looked very happy. Comfortable? How comfortable? Zhou Xiong asked with a smile. Well, I can't say. Anyway, it is more comfortable than in the house we rented, Zhou Wukong said after thinking for a while. Dad will bring you here when he is free, okay? Okay, but I don't know if Uncle Wang Yao will be unhappy. Although the child was young, he was very thoughtful. I will ask him in advance. Zhou Xiong smiled and touched his son's head. Okay. Zhou Wukong nodded happily after hearing that. In the county town, in an elegant tea house, 2 people sat in a private room with a pot of tea on the table. I will have to trouble you with this matter. I will try. Among the 2 people talking, one was Tian Yuantu. As for the other person, his identity was somewhat special. He was also an acquaintance of Tian Yuantu. The person didn't stay in the tea house for long. When he left, he was very careful. It seemed that he was afraid of being seen. Sitting in the tea house, Tian Yuantu picked up the teacup and drank the tea in one gulp. Well, these people. As a successful businessman, he came into contact with many people. Some people, he didn't want to come into contact with, but he had to. The more he came into contact with, the more he saw and the more things he had to do. Now, many people knew his relationship with Wang Yao. Naturally, they would come to him. It was not easy to accept or reject favors. At this time, Tian Yuantu suddenly thought of the leisurely Wang Yao on Nanshan Hill. Sometimes I really envy him. I don't think he is worried about these things. In fact, Wang Yao was worried about one thing at this time. There were 2 guests in his house. One was his third uncle, and the other was dressed in a suit and leather shoes. He was a leader of his third uncle's unit. His surname was Zhang. I heard from Feng Lei that you can treat calculi, so I asked him to take me to have a look. The middle-aged man was very straightforward. His tone was even slightly arrogant. Sigh. Wang Yao sighed and then smiled. Last time, because of this matter, he remembered that his third uncle in front of him had a big fight with his third aunt. They even argued about divorce. In just a few days, he unexpectedly made such a thing happen again. His third uncle didn't inform him first. The point was that he had already made it very clear that the medicine had been used up and couldn't be provided. Did his third uncle not hear it? Wang Yao wanted to directly ask his third uncle what he was thinking. He had heard of deceiving his father. What was this? Was he deceiving his nephew? Don't worry, I will pay you all the money. These words were said quite clearly, but his expression and actions looked a bit pretentious. Chapter 127. Mr. Zhang, right? I'm sorry. I don't know how to treat patients, nor do I know how to treat stones. It's better for you to go to the hospital if you don't feel well. My third uncle must have been drunk when he said those words. Please don't take it to heart, Wang Yao said with a smile. His third uncle was embarrassed when he heard this. This was a typical example of not earning face from both sides. He had indeed told his superior that his nephew knew how to treat kidney stones. It was really at the dinner table. At that time, he had exaggerated and said that the medicine could cure the disease without any pain or side effect. He didn't expect that Mr. Zhang had kidney stones. He didn't care at first, but the pain was very bad these days. He couldn't always go to the hospital to have his kidney stones removed. Moreover, the process of removing the stones was very painful. He remembered what Wang Yao's third uncle said, so he went directly to him and drove him to see Wang Yao. Wang Fenglei couldn't be decisive. He thought, what if my nephew got that medicine again? Then, the awkward scene just now happened. I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang. I made you come here for nothing. Wang Yao was still very firm this time. He didn't leave any room for negotiation. Haha, it's okay. I just came here to relax. Mr. Zhang's face was a little ugly, but he quickly recovered. Yao Yu, Wang Yao's third uncle said. Uncle, I really don't know what to do. Wang Yao didn't know what to say to such a relative who was also his elder. This time, he couldn't let go. Alright, let's forget about this. Fenglei, do you want to go back with me, or do you want to stay here? President Zhang still had a smile on his face, but it was obvious that his smile was forced. He should be very angry at this time. I'll go back with you, Wang Yao's third uncle said. Okay. Wang Yao's third uncle and Mr. Zhang from his company stood up and left after finishing their conversation. Wang Yao and his family walked them out of the alley. After getting into the car, Mr. Zhang's expression changed immediately. President Zhang, I'm sorry, well, let's not talk about this anymore. President Zhang waved his hand. His face was gloomy and very impatient. In his opinion, Wang Fenglei was deceiving him, wasting his time, and playing with him. This was unforgivable. Wang Yao's third uncle knew that he was in trouble. His good days in the company were coming to an end. He lowered his head and didn't say anything. The atmosphere in the car was a little tense. Wang Yao's family was sitting together. Yao, you may affect your third uncle's work, Zhang Xiuying said. That can't be helped. I can't solve this matter. Lying, and I don't have a medical qualification certificate. What if this spread out? Wang Yao said. Fossilization was not a very troublesome matter. When the stone flower was cooked, it could dissolve the stone in the body. The stone flower could be obtained through the exchange of points. These were not the problem. The problem was Wang Yao's third uncle. If he agreed this time, would there be another Mr. Li or Mr. Sun in a few days? Would he treat it or not? So, he simply blocked his way and made him completely give up this idea. After listening to Wang Yao's words, his mother didn't say anything more. His father just kept smoking. After being in a daze for a while, he said, I don't care about this matter anymore. Well, Wang Yao agreed. Anyway, through this matter, it was estimated that his third uncle would definitely have a problem with him and his family. This matter would affect his third uncle's work, family, and the relationship between the two families. The cause was only a small matter. Wang Yao had also warned his third uncle, but his third uncle didn't listen at all. This matter was troublesome and gave him a headache just thinking about it. Forget it, I'll just not think about it. Mom, I may go to Dao in a few days. I'll leave the matter of the herbal field to you and Dad. During dinner, Wang Yao mentioned this matter. Okay, why are you going to Dao? I'm going to hang out with a friend, Wang Yao said with a smile. Friend? Is it a man or a woman? Is it Tong Wei? Zhang Xiuying immediately asked. No, I'm going with Tian Yuantu. A man. Zhang Xiuying seemed disappointed. It was night. The sky was high and the moon was bright. After speeding all the way, Wang Yao went to the hill. As usual, he sat in front of the house and looked up at the sky. The mountain breeze was gentle and warm. Well, the weather should be good tomorrow. The next day, he called Tian Yuantu and agreed to go to Dao to see his friend's son's illness. On the other end of the phone, Tian Yuantu was very happy to hear this. He said that he would immediately contact the person to confirm the time and pick him up. After hanging up the phone, he received a call from Zhou Xiong. On the other end of the phone, Zhou Xiong's words surprised him. Zhou Xiong actually asked him if he really wanted to learn martial arts. Wang Yao had indeed said that to him before. That night, when he heard that he had easily beaten up 4 young men, Wang Yao subconsciously said that. He didn't expect that Wang Yao would actually take it seriously. Okay. Wang Yao agreed on the phone. He thought that it wasn't a bad thing anyway. It was always good to have more skills. Unexpectedly, Wang Yao took his son to the hill in the morning. His sincerity surprised and embarrassed Wang Yao. In fact, Zhou Xiong also had some thoughts. First of all, he really wanted to thank Wang Yao. After all, in the past month, after Wang Yao's treatment, his son had improved greatly, both physically and mentally. This made him see hope. However, Wang Yao didn't ask for a penny for the consultation fee, which made him feel a little guilty. Therefore, after hearing that Wang Yao wanted to learn martial arts that night, he took it seriously. This was the main reason. Secondly, he wanted to take his son to relax. His son said that he would feel comfortable on the hill. You came so quickly, Wang Yao said with a smile. Yes, Kang's illness is thanks to you. You don't have the consultation fee, and I don't have anything to thank you for. I know some boxing. If you want to learn, I can teach you, Zhou Xiong said very sincerely. He spoke from the bottom of his heart. Wang Yao was quite touched. In front of the cottage, beside the herbal field, there was an open space. It wasn't very big, but it was enough to practice boxing. I'm in Songzhou. I've been practicing martial arts since I was a child. I've practiced some boxing techniques, such as Tongbi, Baji, Bagua, and Xingyi. Which one do you want to learn? When it came to martial arts and kung fu, Zhou Xiong seemed to change into a different person. He exuded a special aura. It was confidence, vigor, and there was a faint passion. Can you tell me more in detail? I don't understand these, Wang Yao said. Okay. As Zhou Xiong said this, he took a few steps back to distance himself from Wang Yao and his son. Then, his body moved. Tongbi, the 2 arms are connected. The emphasis is on Tongbi, and it pays attention to the hands, eyes, and body movement. As Zhou Xiong spoke, his body also moved. It was dazzling and unpredictable. From time to time, there was a crisp sound. Baji, the literature has Taiji to calm the world. The martial arts has 8 levels to stabilize the universe. The Fa gene can reach in all directions. That's why it's called Tongbi. Strong, fierce, and violent. As Zhou Xiong spoke, the wind of his fists changed. His momentum was fierce, and he opened and closed. Bagua, the emphasis is on palm and footwork. It can transform and create. It can combine the virtual and the real. Zhou Xiong's movements changed again. His whole body suddenly became much lighter. His palms flew like an ape jumping and a snake moving. Xingyi, straightforward, like lightning and thunder, like the yellow river bursting the dike. Zhou Xiong's fists changed again. His movements became much more fierce, and his speed was extremely fast. Zhou Xiong's movements surprised Wang Yao. It was an eye-opener. Although he didn't know kung fu, He could see that the person in front of him must be a kung fu master. There was a pattern in his movements. There was a great force in his fists and feet. If he hit a person, he would be seriously injured immediately. It was not something that could be compared with those fancy moves. What do you think? Which one do you want to learn? After hinting, Zhou Xiong said with a smile. He didn't mean to show off. He just wanted to let Wang Yao know the essence of these boxing skills in the most direct way. It was also convenient for him to choose. Well, Wang Yao lowered his head and thought. The boxing skills demonstrated by Zhou Xiong had their advantages and disadvantages, but they did not have much in common with the natural classics that he had been practicing. The 8 trigrams palm was barely related to it, which made him a little hesitant. Do you know Taiji fist? Wang Yao asked tentatively. Taiji? Zhou Xiong was stunned. Yes, but I'm not particularly proficient. Can you show me? Okay. Zhou Xiong then started to practice Taiji fist. The speed was slow. It looked soft, like flowing water. However, there seemed to be a hidden violent energy. It was like a turbulent undercurrent. Once touched, it would explode. That's it. Wang Yao felt that this boxing skill was the most suitable for him. Hearing that Wang Yao wanted to learn Taiji fist, Zhou Xiong was a little surprised. The most famous boxing skill in China was Taiji fist. It was really famous. However, the Taiji fist that was practiced in the world was basically a fitness boxing skill. It lacked the part of fighting skills. At the beginning, boxing skills were not for strengthening the body. It was for fighting skills and killing skills. You only want to learn boxing skills for fitness? Zhou Xiong asked out of curiosity. Self-defense, Wang Yao said with a smile. He didn't need to keep fit. The guidance technique and the deeper meaning mentioned in the natural classics were the best way to keep fit. He mainly learned these boxing skills to learn the skills of exerting force. He now had Neishi, but his strength was more than several times that of ordinary people. Ordinary strong men couldn't get close to him at all. However, his application of Fa gene was very poor. It was like the characters in the wuxia novels who had a peerless internal force but didn't know how to use it. Self-defense? That's the skill attack. That's the core of the fist art, Zhou Xiong said with a smile after listening. Chapter 128. Zhou Xiong spent the whole morning teaching Wang Yao some of the most basic knowledge of Tai Chi. In the process, Wang Yao's comprehension ability surprised him. Wang Yao's talent was amazing. In just one morning, Wang Yao had memorized the punching stances of Tai Chi. More importantly, he had been able to understand some of its profound meaning. Tai Chi was famous for being easy to learn but difficult to master. It was important to know that Tai Chi was famous for being easy to learn but difficult to master. Your talent is truly astonishing, Zhou Xiong exclaimed. If you were to learn martial arts, you might even become a master of your generation. When it was close to noon, Zhou Xiong and his son left. Wang Yao insisted that they stay for a meal, but they did not agree. In the afternoon, Wang Yao practiced Tai Chi on the mountain. Perhaps the profound meaning of this boxing was similar to the Taoist scriptures he had been reading these days, so practicing was twice the result with half the effort. His progress was very fast. This made him very happy. That night, Wang Yao received a call from Tian Tuyen when he was having dinner. Tian Tuyen asked Wang Yao if he was free the next day and wanted to go to Dao City. Tian Tuyen had already made an appointment with his friend. Wang Yao thought about it and agreed. Since he had nothing important to do the next day, it would be good for him to go out and have a look. After dinner, he told his parents that it was very likely that he would not be able to come back in a day. His parents still needed to take care of the herbal field. Then he told Zhou Xiong, in case he was not on the mountain when Zhou Xiong came over in the next few days. The next day, Tian Yuantu came early. Wang Yao had just finished practicing Tai Chi on the mountain peak. which he had just learned from Zhou Xiong yesterday. He heard the sound of dogs barking and saw a person coming from the foot of the mountain. He had to stop practicing and come down the mountain. Wang Yao told his family and then took a car to Dao City with Tian Yuantu. The distance between Dao City and Lianshan County was not particularly far, but it still took more than 3 hours. When they arrived there, it was already close to noon. This was the most prosperous place in the province, second to none. It could be considered a famous city in the country, with endless traffic and tall buildings. Naturally, Lianshan and Haik couldn't compare to it. "Do you want to find a place to eat?" Tian Yuantu asked in the car. "Sure." For Tian Yuantu, Dao City was no stranger to him. In the early days, because of his business, he had to come here several times a month. Recently, he had less time to come here, so he knew where to eat. He took Wang Yao to a very famous seafood restaurant. In the morning, the restaurant was full of people. It was even difficult to find a place to park outside. The seafood here was plentiful, and the taste was good. The price was a little expensive, but it was still acceptable. It was reasonable that the business was booming. After lunch, Tian Yuantu contacted the person again. Then, he paid the bill with Wang Yao and left. They agreed on a place to meet, but the location was in a hotel. It was a resort hotel by the sea. It looked extraordinary. When they arrived, there was already someone waiting downstairs. This person obviously knew Tian Yuantu. After seeing him, he took the initiative to greet him. Then, he led the way in front. In the most luxurious room of the hotel, Wang Yao saw the so-called friend that Tian Yuantu had mentioned. He was a middle-aged man with a medium build, a square face, and a dark face. His eyes were not big, but they were very energetic. His name was Sun Jingrong. "Honorable guests come from afar. Sorry for not coming out to meet you." Sun Jingrong spoke slowly and in a deep voice. "Hello, Mr. Sunday. Let me introduce you. This is Wang Yao." Tian Yuantu introduced them to each other. "Hello, welcome." "Hello, Mr. Sunday." Sun Jingrong had a faint smile on his face. From the way he shook hands just now, Wang Yao could feel that Sun Jingrong still did not trust him. It was somewhat of a routine. "Please sit down." After sitting down, the young man who led them up poured 2 cups of tea for them. "Mr. Sun, this is Dr. Wang Yao. Although he is young, he has medical skills." "He is very good," Tian Yuantu said. "Oh, I'd like to see." "I don't know what Dr. Wang thinks of my son," Sun Jingrong asked with a smile. "The information is limited. I need to diagnose him on the spot," Wang Yao responded very calmly. Since entering the room, Wang Yao had been silently observing. He found that in front of Sun Jingrong, Tian Yuantu was actually a little restrained. In terms of invisible momentum, he was faintly suppressed by Sun Jingrong. Since he knew Tian Yuantu, he had only seen this kind of thing once. It was that time when he had dinner with the big boss in Haik City. The other party also faintly had this kind of reaction. In other words, Sun Jingrong's identity was quite unusual. Otherwise, Tian Yuantu would not be so careful. After listening to Wang Yao's words, Sun Jingrong did not rush to answer. Instead, he sat there and quietly looked at Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu. The room was very quiet. Wang Yao sat on the sofa like still water, like an old monk, like a mountain rock. Tian Yuantu's face always had a faint smile. "Please come with me. No matter what you see later, I hope you won't be surprised and keep it a secret," Sun Jingrong said. A young man was sitting in the room. To be precise, a young man was tied to the chair with a wide belt. The young man's face was red and his eyes were red. His hair was dry and yellow like grass. His body was thin, but there was no trace of weakness. The momentum exuded from his body was like a wild wolf, like an evil spirit. There was also a middle-aged man standing next to him. His face was expressionless, as if he had facial paralysis. He stood there like a tree stump. What's going on? Tian Yuantu was shocked. Is he possessed? This was his first thought. Well, the young man who was tied up was clenching his teeth. He seemed to be enduring great pain. Taking a closer look, he was wearing braces in his mouth, presumably to prevent him from breaking his teeth or biting his tongue. Wang Yao slowly moved forward. The young man's breath was very rapid and hot, as if there was a fire in his stomach. Because he was tied up, the pulse reading was greatly affected and could not be accurate. Wang Yao could only reluctantly give it a try. In fact, he had already found some clues by listening to the method of diagnosis. He just needed to confirm it further. What a strange pulse. What a strange disease. Wang Yao was shocked by this test. This kind of pulse was very similar to the boiling pot pulse. The pulse was on the skin, floating to the extreme, like a boiling pot in the air, without any root. Although it was recorded in medical books, if he had not been enlightened with so much knowledge, he was afraid that even if he could feel the pulse, he would not know what illness it was, let alone find out the cause of the disease. In ancient medical books there were 10 strange pulses, which were the pulses that appeared when one was dying. Once a strange pulse appeared, it meant that the disease was serious and the vitality was declining. The boiling pot pulse was one of them. Like boiling water, there was no breath at all, and it was extremely hot. Ancient doctors believed that the human body paid attention to the balance of yin and yang. If one wanted to be healthy and live a long life, yin and yang must be in harmony. The young man in front of him had an extreme imbalance of yin and yang. Yang accounted for more than 90%, and yin was less than 10%. If the human body was compared to a lamp, the life was the fire, and the spirit was the oil that supported the flame. The spirit was sufficient, yin and yang were balanced, and the fire of life burned steadily. The man in front of him was like adding oil to the fire, burning at an extreme speed, overdrawing the source of his life. This disease was rare and difficult to treat. It was a miracle that the young man in front of him could live until now. After the diagnosis, Wang Yao stood up and shook his head slightly. "Dr. Wang, is there a way to treat my son's disease?" Sun Jingrong asked. "Yin and yang are out of balance, and the yang is extremely strong. It's difficult," Wang Yao said. In fact, yin and yang imbalance was a common disease. However, any common disease, if it developed in the beginning, and if it was not treated, it could develop into an extremely terrible disease that threatened life. It was like a spark that eventually became a prairie fire. Oh! Sun Jingrong's eyes changed slightly when he looked at Wang Yao. Previously, he looked down on him because of his young age. However, his words hit the nail on the head. He had also consulted several experts in the province, and their general opinion was the same. Moreover, the young man said the word difficult, not sorry or anything like that. Can it be cured? Wang Yao did not speak. He just shook his head. Can't it be cured? I can't say now. I need to think about it carefully. Wang Yao told the truth. He was not sure about this disease. He did not even have an idea now. Then I'll have to trouble you. Sun Jingrong did not show any disappointment. He looked as usual. Can I ask you a question? Please go ahead. When did your son suffer from this strange disease? Wang Yao asked. About 2 years ago, Sun Jingrong replied without hesitation. 2 years ago? Wang Yao was shocked. It was a miracle that he could live for 2 years with such a strange disease. In the past 2 years, has he been treated with the weight-bearing method? This was the doubt in Wang Yao's heart. He simply asked directly. I'm sorry. Sun Jingrong only said 2 words. It's okay. At this time, the young man who was tied up suddenly roared like a mad dog. The man with facial paralysis, who had been standing beside him, acted quickly. He took out a syringe from the box beside him and injected it into him. After a while, Sun Jingrong's son calmed down. To be precise, he fainted. This is not the way, Wang Yao said. At a glance, He knew that the man with facial paralysis had injected him with a strong sedative. Otherwise, it wouldn't have such an effect. Doing this was like using paper to cover a fire. It could be temporarily covered, but the consequence was that the fire would burn more vigorously. Moreover, sedative drugs would form dependence after a long time, similar to drug addiction. There is no other way. This is the best way, Sun Jingrong said. Chapter 129. It was only 3 o'clock in the afternoon when they opened the hotel. It was still early. They wanted to go back to Lianshan County, but Sun Jingrong invited them to dinner. Wang Yao wanted to decline, but Tian Yuantu agreed. Therefore, they had to wait until the next day to leave. What do you think? After they left, Sun Jingrong asked the expressionless man, who hadn't said a word since the beginning. He has some skills, the expressionless man said coldly. Yes, he can tell Yunxing's illness just by feeling his pulse. He does have some skills at this age, but I'm afraid he can't do anything about it. Sigh. Sun Jingrong looked at his son, who was lying in bed in a coma, and sighed. Over the years, his business was getting bigger and bigger, and his family was also on the rise. Everything was good except for his son. Since he got the strange illness, he had visited many famous doctors, but there was no good effect. Instead, it became more and more serious. It was still early before dark. Tian Yuantu drove Wang Yao around Dao City. They stopped at a beach. Although it was spring, the sea breeze was still strong and it was a little cold. Is the illness difficult to treat? Tian Yuantu asked. Very difficult, Wang Yao said. In fact, he hadn't thought of a way to treat the illness yet. He just had some vague ideas. I guess Sun Jingrong is not an ordinary person. Yes, he is a well-known figure in the province. He has assets of more than 10 billion yuan. He is involved in real estate, catering, electronic products, and many other industries, Tian Yuantu said. Actually, I have something to ask of you, so I invited you here. Sorry. After thinking for a while, he told the truth. Haha, it's okay. Wang Yao waved his hand with a smile. He had already known that Sun Jingrong and Tian Yuantu were in a cooperative relationship. They were not friends. If it had been a normal day, he wouldn't have come. After all, he had a mission. There was nothing wrong with coming to Dao City to have a look and have some fun. I'm afraid that even those legendary national healers could be invited over, but they couldn't cure his son's illness? National healers are as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. Most of them are in the imperial palace. It's not easy to see them. 10 billion assets are already unattainable in our eyes, but in some people's eyes, it's nothing. Tian Yuantu smiled. The two of them stayed at the beach for a while, and the sky gradually darkened. Then, they returned to the hotel. After Tian Yuantu's introduction, he learned that this famous hotel in Dao City was one of Sun Zheng's hotels. It was obvious that Sun Zheng's family business was big. This meal was very sumptuous and even somewhat extravagant. There were some dishes that Wang Yao had never even heard of, let alone seen. Sun Jingrong still didn't talk much, but it was still harmonious. However, Wang Yao didn't like this kind of atmosphere and felt uncomfortable. At the table, Sun Jingrong expressed his gratitude to the two of them and hoped that Wang Yao would tell him as soon as he had a treatment method. After the meal, Sun Jingrong asked people to prepare some gifts for them. In addition, he gave Wang Yao a card and a bank card. What's the meaning of this? After leaving the private room, Wang Yao asked Tian Yuantu. He didn't want to accept it, but Tian Yuantu secretly tugged at him and signaled him to accept it. The consultation fee. Rich people are really different. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. When the two of them were about to go downstairs, they suddenly heard a woman's voice. Please show some respect. Wang Yao looked in the direction of the voice and saw a graceful beauty in a light-colored trench coat. She had long hair that reached her shoulders. He could only see her back. Beside her, a slightly fat man was entangled with her. This back view was somewhat familiar. Why? Do you want to be a hero and save the beauty? Tian Yuantu asked with a smile. Let's go and have a look. Wang Yao moved his feet. Tian Yuantu followed with a smile. What are you doing? Making friends? The man's hand had just reached out when it was caught in midair. Seeing Wang Yao suddenly appear, he was very dissatisfied. Who are you? Wang Yao. Tong Wei. Looking at the beautiful woman in front of him with light makeup, Wang Yao was very surprised. This was his old classmate. He never thought that he would meet her here. Tong Wei was also very surprised. Why are you here? The two of them almost said at the same time. Who are you? Let go of me. The man whose wrist was grabbed by Wang Yao tried to break free. However, Wang Yao's hand was like an iron clamp. It was very painful. The two of them never thought that they would actually meet here and in such a way. They had just met before the new year. At that time, the beauty was like a flower and was the center of attention. At this time, the beauty was still the same. What's going on? At this time, a man in a suit walked over from not far away. Manager Ding, what are you doing? The man with a face full of smiles said to the man who was touching Tong Wei. I want to make friends with this lady. She must have misunderstood, the man said. Tong Wei, this is the guest we invited today, Manager Ding, the man said. Manager Li, he. Tong Wei's beautiful eyebrows slightly frowned. Tonight, she and a manager in the unit were entrusted by the company to make an appointment with an important business client. She did not expect to meet this guy who was harassing her here. Coincidentally, he was her important guest. This made her feel a little wronged and embarrassed. Let go. Manager Ding's face became a little ugly. On the one hand, he was embarrassed. On the other hand, he felt a lot of pain from being pinched by Wang Yao. What's going on? At this time, a voice suddenly came over. It was Sun Jingrong who came out of the private room and saw the scene just now. Manager Sun. Mr. Sunday, as soon as they saw Sun Jingrong, both Manager Ding, who was touching Tong Wei, and Manager Li, who came with Tong Wei, were stunned. They did not expect to see this powerful person in Dao here. Manager Ding must have drunk too much, Wang Yao said calmly. It's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. Manager Ding, who was very arrogant just now, hurriedly explained. Obviously, he was very afraid of Sun Jingrong. If you have drunk too much, go back and rest, Sun Jingrong said very calmly. Yes, yes. The man with the surname Ding immediately nodded and responded. He was very obedient, as if he had seen a big boss's little brother. Wang Yao felt that Manager Ding's pulse suddenly jumped violently, and cold sweat appeared on his head. I have something to do, so I'll leave first. You can do whatever you want here. After saying that, Sun Jingrong left. His words meant that Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu could spend whatever they wanted in the hotel without having to pay the bill. As a comprehensive hotel, it was not as simple as accommodation and meals. Manager Ding, what do you think tonight? Manager Li asked softly. Let's talk about it another day. Manager Ding's tone softened a lot, and he could not wait to leave. Tong Wei, walk Manager Ding out together? Sorry, Manager Li, my classmate is here. What do you think? Okay, then you can chat. Manager Li, I'll walk you out. No need. After the two people left, only Wang Yao, Tong Wei, and Tian Yuantu were left in the corridor. I'll go out for a walk first. Tian Yuantu patted Wang Yao's shoulder with a smile and then left. Shall we find a place to sit? Wang Yao smiled and said to Tong Wei. Okay. There was a cafe in the hotel, and the atmosphere was very good. The two of them chose a table by the window and ordered 2 cups of coffee. Sitting there, they could see the night view of the sea not far away. It was very beautiful. Why are you in Dao City? Tong Wei reached out to smooth her hair and asked softly. I'm here with a friend to do something. I didn't expect to meet you here. What a coincidence. Yes, what a coincidence. Tong Wei reached out to touch her cheek and said softly. Will what happened just now affect your future work? It's okay. I don't want to do my current job, Tong Wei said with a smile. Just as the two of them were talking, Manager Li and Manager Ding had arrived outside the hotel. Manager Ding, I'm really sorry about what happened a few nights ago. I'll apologize to you on behalf of Tong Wei. I'll apologize again tomorrow, Manager Li said with a smile. The person in front of him was a big client of their company. He could not be offended easily. Forget it. She's a femme fatale. Manager Ding waved his hand and said gloomily. Manager Ding, take care. Watching the car leave, Manager Li, who looked to be in his 30s, sighed softly. How could something like this happen tonight? Originally, he had a good plan. He had invited Manager Ding to have a meal together to confirm the next business deal. For this reason, he had specially reported to his boss and invited the company's flower, Tong Wei, to come along. After all, some things were much easier to get done with a beautiful woman. He did not expect that something like this would happen. He was afraid that this business deal would be ruined. He did not know how to explain it to his boss when he went back. I don't know the background of his classmate. He can't be simple if he can get in touch with someone like Sun Jingrong. Is there a possibility that he can develop into a client? Manager Li's eyes lit up when he thought of this. What does your company do? Investment and financial management, Tong Wei said with a smile. Financial management? Yes, it's to put money into our company and generate income through our operations. Then we collect a certain amount of fees, Tong Wei explained. I know that. How much is the income? Well, it's hard to say, but it's definitely higher than the banks. We have many types here. Some have a minimum guarantee and some have higher risk. However, we will fully consult the client before we operate, Tong Wei said. How much is the minimum? 200,000 yuan. Why? Do you want to manage money? Tong Wei held her chin and looked at Wang Yao with a smile. No, I'm just asking. When are you going back? Tomorrow. I've finished my work here. Chapter 130. Tong Wei turned her head and looked out of the window. She suddenly thought of something and was slightly absent-minded. She had been in this city for 2 years. This city was familiar yet strange. It had its excitement and prosperity, but it also had its indifference. She wanted to stay here, but she also wanted to go home. The two of them sat in the cafe for a long time. Unknowingly, it was already past 9 p.m. Shall we go? Tong Wei looked at Wang Yao and asked. Sure, where do you live? I'll drive you back. Tong Wei didn't drive, and neither did Wang Yao. The two of them took a taxi to Tong Wei's residence. It was a nice neighborhood. You bought a house? Wang Yao looked at the residential area in front of him. He thought that in a city like Dao, the houses here shouldn't be cheap. Any one of these houses would be enough to buy several commercial houses of the same size in Lianshan County. No, I rented it. Why don't you come to my place? Tong Wei invited. Sure. Wang Yao and Tong Wei went upstairs. Tong Wei's rented house was not big, but it was very clean and decorated very warmly. Sit anywhere. What would you like to drink? Water is fine. Tong Wei poured a glass of water for Wang Yao. Then she took off her coat. She wore a light purple cashmere sweater inside, which made her look more graceful. A man and a woman living in the same room, and they knew each other. They were old classmates. Although they didn't love each other, they probably had some feelings for each other. The atmosphere was a bit ambiguous. Something should have happened. However, nothing happened. Wang Yao stayed for less than 5 minutes. He drank a glass of water and left. It's late. You should go to bed early. This was what Wang Yao said before he left. A gentleman could stay calm. Wang Yao knew that he wasn't a gentleman. His heart was already a bit messy. After all, he was young and vigorous. A beauty was like a flower, and the flower was also interested. Therefore, he took his leave and fled. Tong Wei stood in front of the window and looked at Wang Yao's back. Her red lips were slightly pursed. She seemed a bit disappointed. "Can't you stay for a while longer? Why are you back?" After seeing Wang Yao, Tian Yuantu was surprised. "What do you mean? If not, where would I go?" Tian Yuantu smiled and said, "A beauty is like a flower. When the flower is ready to be plucked, it must be plucked. Don't wait until the flower is gone and the branch is empty." Wang Yao just smiled. "You are a real gentleman." Tian Yuantu gave him a thumbs up and praised him. That woman was indeed beautiful, like a fairy from a painting. Furthermore, he could tell that she was interested in Wang Yao. If it were him, if he was at Wang Yao's age, he would most likely not be able to control himself. "I'm not a gentleman, and I don't want to be one. It's too tiring." Wang Yao waved his hand and shook his head. "Ha ha ha!" Tian Yuantu laughed heartily. "To be honest, I think that woman is not bad. You can consider her." Tian Yuantu had been traveling extensively for so many years and had seen all kinds of people. This had also trained his ability to judge people. With his experience and vision over the years, he was generally not far from the mark. That woman had clear eyes and generous manners. She was beautiful but not coquettish. She was a rare beauty. As the old saying went, it was easy to get 1,000 soldiers, but hard to find a general. It was the same for beautiful women. "I will consider your suggestion," Wang Yao said with a smile. The two of them stayed in Dao for one night and prepared to leave the next day. Before leaving, Wang Yao called Tong Wei. Tong Wei insisted on treating him and Tian Yuantu to dinner. Since he couldn't refuse, Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu stayed. The place Tong Wei chose was not big, but it was very exquisite. The business was also very good. Today, she still wore light makeup, but she seemed to be more delicate and beautiful than yesterday. As soon as she came in, many people's eyes fell on her and forgot to eat. She was really a feast for the eyes. "You are so beautiful today," Tong Wei said. "Thank you." The beauty smiled like a blooming flower. It was beautiful and moving. During dinner, Tian Yuantu suggested, "Why don't we stay in Dao for 2 more days? There are many scenic spots and interesting places in Dao. It's rare for you to come here. Why don't we walk around?" "Okay, I'll be your tour guide," Tong Wei said with a smile. "What?" Wang Yao was a little hesitant. There was still a herbal field at home. It was mainly at night. If he didn't go back, his father would have to spend the night on the hill. "What's wrong? Is there an emergency at home?" Tian Yuantu asked when he saw Wang Yao's hesitation. "It's not very urgent. Let's stay for 1 more day." Wang Yao then called home and said that he would stay in Dao for 1 more day. He and Tong Wei would go sightseeing, interesting places, and delicious food. Tian Yuantu wisely found an excuse to leave. He didn't want to be a third wheel. Wang Yao was very happy that day. It was different from the calm and natural happiness on Nanshan Hill. It was another kind of joy. Tong Wei was also very happy. She hadn't been so happy in a long time. When the two of them were together, they took quite a number of intimate photos. Everywhere they went, they were always the envy of onlookers, instantly killing the single enough. "Damn, she's so beautiful. That guy has good luck with women. Ah, he actually made a beauty pay for him. I'm really impressed. Why can't I be impressed? What are you looking at? You can't move your legs when you see a beauty. Wife, I'm wrong." In the evening, the two of them found an exquisite restaurant by the sea and had dinner. It was very warm and sweet. "We'll go back tomorrow." "Yes, I still have some things to do at home. Stay for 2 more days. There are still some places you haven't visited." Tong Wei pouted her red lips. She was very attractive. "Next time. I'll trouble you again when I come to Dao." Wang Yao smiled. In fact, he also wanted to stay for a few more days. He wanted to have fun and eat happily. The most important thing was that there was a beauty by his side. Even if he did nothing, just looking at her made him happy. Next time then. It's a promise. Okay. Pinky promise. Tong Wei stretched out her little finger, showing her playful side. Pinky promise. When their fingers touched, Wang Yao only felt that her fingers were soft and soft. Their fingers were like hooks, tightly interlocking. Unknowingly, the night was getting darker. Wang Yao sent Tong Wei back to her residence. He stayed with her for a while and then left. I feel the breath of love from between your eyebrows, Tian Yuantu said after they met. It was very artistic. I'm tired after playing for a whole day. I'm going to rest first, Wang Yao said with a smile. You can think about my suggestion again. Wang Yao smiled and went into his room. That girl is really good. The next day, Wang Yao wanted to give Tong Wei a call. He didn't expect that Tong Wei would come to their place and give them some small gift. Thank you. Be careful on the road. Goodbye. She's so thoughtful. She's definitely a good wife and mother. Tian Yuantu sighed as he drove. She's very thoughtful. Wang Yao looked at the gifts in his hand. They were not only for him, but also for his parents. Look, such a good girl. You must seize the opportunity. If it's too late, it'll be too late to regret it. Tian Yuantu was very serious. He was also speaking from the bottom of his heart. Okay. Wang Yao nodded in response. The car was relatively fast. They left early in the morning. It was noon when they arrived in Lianshan County. Wang Yao asked Tian Yuantu to stay at home for a light meal. It was a big pot of dishes. Tian Yuantu enjoyed the meal very much. He repeatedly praised Wang Yao's mother for her good cooking. Zhang Xiuying was very happy. After Tian Yuantu left, Zhang Xiuying held the expensive gift and asked, "Who bought this gift for you?" "A classmate." "Classmate male or female?" "Female." "Female." Zhang Xiuying became excited when she heard this. "University classmate? What's her name?" "Junior high school classmate, high school classmate. She's from Lianshan County and works in Dao," Wang Yao said with a helpless smile. "Is it the Tong Wei that your father mentioned last time?" "Yes, it's her." Wang Yao didn't hide it. "Really? You went to Dao this time for her?" Zhang Xiuying was very happy when she heard this. "No, I just met her by chance." "She gave you a gift because she met you by chance? What does the girl look like? Do you have a photo?" "Yes." "Let me see." Wang Yao showed his mother the photos of him and Tong Wei when they were traveling in Dao. Zhang Xiuying snatched the phone from Wang Yao's hand and shouted into the house, "Wow, this girl is so beautiful. Old man, come out and see your daughter-in-law." "Daughter-in-law?" Wang Fenghua hurried out of the house. "Where is she?" "On the phone. Look at how beautiful the girl is. She looks very lucky." "Hey, isn't this Tong Wei? You went to Dao specifically to look for her." "No. If not, why are there so many photos in different places?" Wang Yao felt that it would be a waste of time to explain, so he didn't say anything and just let his mother be happy. "When can you bring Tong Wei home to meet us?" "She's still in Dao." "Well, this is not a solution. Why don't you go to Dao or ask her to come back?" Zhang Xiuying had now subconsciously regarded Tong Wei as her future daughter-in-law. "I'll go up to Nanshan Hill first. It's fine there. Your father just came down. Let's talk about this girl first." Hey Yao. After leaving home, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill. When he just walked to the foot of the hill, the dog, San Xian, ran down the hill and wagged its tail happily beside him. It barked from time to time as if it was asking Wang Yao where he had been and why he wasn't on Nanshan Hill. Caw. In the sky there was a clear chirp. The goshawk circled and then landed very low. "Hello, de Xia." He waved at the goshawk in the sky. The goshawk in the sky seemed to have seen him and chirped as a response. First, he walked around Nanshan Hill and looked at the herbs and trees he had planted. Then, he practiced Tai Chi on the rock at the top of the hill. When his fists moved, his nashi also moved slowly like flowing water. He was still very unfamiliar with this Tai Chi after all. He had just started to learn it. After a round of Tai Chi, he moved his body and felt much more comfortable. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.